Arrow.
So many people.
Yay, puppy.
Puppy.
It's a party. Yeah, it's Leslie.
Oh my God, he's dressed up. That's so
Hi, Leslie.
cute.
Oh.
Marina.
Hello, everyone.
Classic.
Merry Christmas to all.
Yeah. It's time.
Merry Christmas and
It's
happy
Christmas
birthday.
time. Yes. Happy early birthday to Matthew.
Oh my gosh, stop.
Birthday Eve.
I will never stop. Okay, let's see. Letting everyone join.
Oh, hi, Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. Waiting for everyone to join. Looks like we're getting quite the crowd.
Ooh.
Huzzah. This is so exciting.
Oh, thank you, Marina. I was trying to go 90s.
Wait, this is a 90s event?
Surprise.
I thought it was a Christmas event.
I could see it. Well, there was Christmas happened in the 90s. You may not believe it, but it is true.
Yeah, but how many times? Like 10?
At least one
Okay.
that I can remember.
Oh,
Sorry, Ryan. Only participants can have their camera on, but we love you all the same. I know, I'm sorry. I am recording this so I can add it to my YouTube channel, and it just keeps the,
she wore
the
an
visual
outfit.
clean. Oh no.
Send
Oh,
us
no.
a picture. Send us a picture.
Can you start my video up again, Palm?
Jesus, Carson.
Oh, we lost Carson.
Let's see.
He's a hot mess.
I'm just gonna report you.
Why have I been a bad boy?
Always. Okay, start your video.
Cool.
All right, while we're starting up, I have a very important question.
Yes,
Um,
please go on.
do
Please.
you prefer insert the straw? Do you do it from the top or into the bottom?
Oh my God,
Okay,
the
that's
top.
just-
Are you insane?
Yeah, what is wrong with you? You always put it through the top.
Can you show me?
An option
The
from the
bottom.
bottom.
Can you show me that way?
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
what
the bottom.
happens?
I wanna see
Demonstrate?
it.
Never done,
Yeah.
Have you guys never done the bottom?
No,
No.
No.
Apparently not.
I was not raised in a barn. I know how
Yeah,
to use a Capri
An
Sun.
upside down barn.
I'm waiting for the fountain. Perfect
Yeah,
fountain of
there
Capri
was a
Sun.
spray.
But now you can't put it down.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I
Gotta
guess as
crush
a
it in one
kid,
go.
you
Could
don't
you ever
put
put
it
down a
down.
Capri Sun?
Are you
Yes.
are you shotgunning Capri Sun?
I think so.
Yeah, there's only like
Things are
2
getting
drinks
wild.
in those things.
Yo, we're doing an all-night party. This is a slumber party. We're
Yeah,
getting
this
crazy.
is getting spicy, y'all.
Hell
Did
yeah.
anybody find any ecto cooler high C? Because that would be the
Found a
best.
recipe for it.
Awesome.
You
Oh.
found a
I don't want to
recipe
brag
for
or
it?
nothing,
Yeah.
but I also have sun chips. So
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
I found
I'm living
Lisa
my
Frank
best life.
cookies at the grocery store tonight, but then I was stressed and ran out of time and I couldn't cook them for this. So sorry.
Is my
We'll
mic
see.
off or on right now?
It is
It's
On.
on.
Okay, cool.
We can hear you.
Test and 1, 2, 3.
I thought JW was just drinking out of a giant pickle jar for a second there.
Is
Like,
he?
that's-
JW?
Are you drinking pickles?
What
It
is
does
that?
kind of look like
No,
a pickle
just
jar.
water and an algae.
Oh, boring.
I'm exciting.
So we do have more guests. So the most important thing right now, Matthew, we need to see your dog again.
Mhm.
I just went into the room.
Can you bring
Oh, would you
Arrow
like to
back?
put that Capri Sun down? That's
Yeah,
too bad.
I bet you'd like that a lot.
Hero.
He needs a lanyard for it.
like like one of those like leather necklaces that you see some people wearing at the Renaissance fairs that they put their little horn.
Oh yeah.
What?
Wait, that's
It's
not the
very
same
brave
dog.
of you all
You
to
can't-
think that the
That's a
Capri
different
Sun was
dog.
That is a
That's not
totally different
Arrow.
dog.
Come on.
How many
can't-
dogs are in
How
that
many
room?
dogs do you have?
We're not
Matt,
drunk
is that
yet.
the one from that one photo?
No, that
Is
would
that-
be Arrow in that photo.
Okay.
No,
This
there's
is your
my
parents' dog, right?
Sophie. Yeah,
Ooh.
this is Sophie.
What's her name? Sophie?
Sophie.
Sophie the
angel.
Sheltie?
Yep, she's a Sheltie.
How
And
old?
Arrow is the
Mini Aussie.
Caleb, where's your dog?
You want a Bodhi appearance?
Yeah,
We have a
Bodhi.
demand.
Yeah.
Just everyone. I can't get my cats in here because they will like try to eat all the wires and then I would suddenly lose sound or something.
Yeah, the
Mine
kitten has
are
already
in
taken out my
here,
webcam twice, so I
but
can't
they're
let them
sleeping.
back in.
You just can't trust cats, really.
Can't.
No.
They will always ruin a Zoom meeting.
Chelsea, I do need to say, there's a puppy.
That is an
Still wearing
adorable
out today.
puppy.
Oh,
Bodhi.
Yeah, puppy's not even real.
That puppy's not real.
I love you, Bodhi.
Oh.
He's pretty chill today, which is good.
Aw.
He's not
Chelsea, do you have
usually-
the proof of the anthology on you just to physically show?
Well, I think that the final is going to be better than the proof that I have.
Okay,
in
that's
hand.
fair. That's
We're working
fair.
on it.
Yes, I don't want to, it needs to be perfect on its reveal.
No, that's fair. If everyone can see, this is part of the cover.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's
Um,
nothing to show. This is all vaporware. We're just we're here to sell you a timeshare.
Yeah.
Okay, let's calm
We have
down.
you
Let's
prized.
not scare away the audience here. Well, I think
But
it's
it's
about
a horror thing.
Oh my God, that's just too close to home, though. It's just more upsetting than it is horror. So, I think, Carson, it's about time we got started. You're supposed to
Yeah, let's
agree
do it.
because you're my co-host, so you have to. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the live reading event for That's What I Call Horror. Did I say that in the Canadian way? I've been told.
No, you
I-
said it. You said it.
Oh, look at me. I'm
not in the
learning.
Canadian way.
It was still pretty
Ah.
Canadian.
That's what I call horror.
Ah.
It's a collection of 90s themed horror, which, comes from the name. And everyone here has a story in it. Chelsea Pumpkins is actually the editor. I helped do some of the interior art. Carson Winter did the formatting, as well as JW. I think tag teamed it actually. Yeah, so it's going to be an awesome time. Relive your childhood. Also, throughout it, we're going to be doing giveaways, of course. So you do have a chance to win a copy of the book that Chelsea will mail out to you with goodies, one of which does include a horror gotchi keychain
Ooh,
that
I
I
have that.
made. Oh, yay, show it. I'm actually really proud of it. And then at the end, for anyone who has bought, yay, so cute.
It's so
It comes with a
cute.
little charm. Yes. And at the very end of the event, we will have the big raffle for those of you who bought tickets. If you do have to jump before that, it's fine. As long as you have bought tickets, you have a chance to win whether or not you make it to the end of the event. We thought that was most fair. Oh, you can see Ryan's outfit
Ryan,
in
I
her profile
love it.
picture. We love it. So cute. I don't know who else dressed up, but feel free to add it in your profile picture so we can see. So yeah, jumping right in. I'm your co-host, PL McMillan. Co-hosting with me is a frequent guest on my YouTube channel, Plim Talks, Carson Winter. Yay! Thank you for
Hello.
agreeing to
Yes.
co-host with me.
I got prodded a lot, but they eventually corralled me into the Zoom. I also have a story in this wonderful anthology, and I gotta say, Chelsea did a wonderful job putting it together. It's kind of a odd project in that it's a totally community-built collective project. We just kind of came together, a bunch of authors, and we said we want to make a book. And we kind of voted Chelsea forward as the editor from her table of contents. I got to say, she's just done a wonderful job all the way through. And I'm so excited for this to come out.
Completely
Aw, it's
agree.
super sweet.
And so again, PL McMillan, I am a writer of horror, specifically sci-fi and cosmic horror. You can find me at plmcmillan.com, where I blog. I do interviews on my YouTube channel, Plim Talks. Links, you can find that on my website as well. And my socials are author PLM. Carson, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Carson Winter. My stories have appeared in Apex, Bestarian, Tales to Terrify. I recently just had my novelette, The Guts of Myth, published by Dreadstone Press in the Split Scream series. I've got a novella called Soft Targets coming up on March 22nd from Tenebris Press. And I'm just stoked to be here.
Yes, thank you. And actually, really cool. Who has the mug?
Me. I have all the swag.
So Carson's story is called Alive and Living, the pilot. And the reason he wasn't able to do the reading is it's in script form, which is really awesome to read. It's super immersive, but it doesn't lend itself quite so easily to being read out loud. So thank you again, Carson, for agreeing to co-host with me. It's always more fun with two.
Yep, no problem. You know, when I wrote that, I definitely was thinking, you know, let's dodge a bullet 9 months from now. So I'm really glad it worked out.
Yeah. Oh, quick question for Carson. What is Soft Targets going to be about?
Oh man, I wish you didn't ask.
Oh, okay,
no.
sorry. I didn't. Somebody in the audience asked.
I'm fucking with you. It's about two office workers who are obsessed with mass shootings, both being the victims of and the perpetrators of this kind of violence. And in the story, they find out that some days are more real than others, which kind of gives them this outlet to kind of play out these escapist violent fantasies. And then, you know, things escalate from there and shit gets bad.
And will they be able to pre-order it on your website? So there'll be a link?
It's not going to be on my website. It'll be on Tenebris. I don't believe we have a pre-order yet. It'll probably sometime in February, I heard. So we're still waiting a little bit. But if you guys go check out my Twitter at Carson Winter 3, we did just release the cover, which is really, really cool. Art by Blackie Shepherd, who's a comic artist in the Pacific Northwest, which is you know, dope. I always love having other people from the Pacific Northwest work with me.
Yes. Oh, Matthew?
That's all. Just
Oh.
shouting out to the Northwest.
Yay, Pacific Northwest.
How many
Represent.
Northwesterners do we have here? Like 3?
4.
Four?
Get the Canuck.
Let's see.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay,
There we
while
go.
we're doing geography though, we need to give JV the biggest shout out because I don't know, what time is it, JV? It's like 2 a.m. or
3
something.
3 in the morning.
3 a.m.
Yes,
Oh,
thank
no.
you.
So
Thank you
that's
so much for
dedication.
coming.
The
So,
best.
obviously everyone's here because they want to hear the fun 90s stories. So let's dive right in. We're going to be starting with our blessed editor, the one, the only, Chelsea Pumpkins. Little intro here. So Chelsea Pumpkins is a writer. Oh no, this is the state I hate saying. Oh,
Oh,
okay, I'm gonna have to really be careful.
let's give it a shot.
Is a writer from Massachusetts.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
That's
If
awesome.
she's
You
not reading, writing, or watching something spooky, you may find her hiking in the White Mountains with her husband and sweet pit bull Moose. You can read her stories in the Strange House anthology, Chromophobia, and the sliced up press anthology, Bloodless. She's obviously also the editor of the upcoming anthology, That's What I Call Horror, which is why we're here today. So, Chelsea, why don't you tell us what you'll be reading from and then get right in there.
All right. I am obviously reading from That's What I Call Horror. My story is called Who in the World is the Hat Man? And I'm gonna just get into it. I have a little interlude after with some logistics, but I'll read first to entice you. All right.
Give it to us.
The blood recedes from your fingers and toes as Lindsay's words reverberate through your inner ear. They call him the Hat Man. Your heart flutters like a wounded moth, bouncing about your chest cavity before falling into your stomach. You hear your name. It's distant, garbled, as if coming from underwater. A red swordtail appears from the porthole of a sunken pirate ship in the fish tank across the room. Bubbles gurgle out of a treasure chest. You hear the call of your name again, but you're entranced by a tetrafish as it dances with the plastic algae, swaying in the current. Hey, Lindsay's voice, clear now, annoyed. What's wrong with you? Huh? The dark basement comes back into focus. Nothing, I'm fine, you reply. You sure? You're shaking, Rachel says, her face contorted in concern. What's the matter? You're not afraid of the Hat Man, are you? Lindsay chides, wagging her flashlight beneath her chin. The beam reflects off her braces, casts sinister shadows onto her face. You're not going to call your mom again, are you? Muffled giggles tease from the dark behind Lindsay. Not gonna call your big brother. I said I'm fine, Lindsay. Your speech is uneven. The trembling of your lips trips your words. The giggles transform into snickers, growing in both volume and ridicule. Don't worry, Rachel whispers, reaching for your hand. It's just a dumb story, make believe. I know, you say. I'm fine. You swallow the burning coal in your throat and clutch the edge of your brother's G.I. Joe sleeping bag. You hate G.I. Joe and you loathe hand-me-downs. Next to the girls' 101 Dalmatians and My Little Pony bags, the faded army greens make you stick out even more. But Justin's sour scent lingers in its folds, and his smell is a refuge. You haven't felt safe since you moved out to live with your uncle across the state, since he started coming around. Lindsay continues her story. He haunts your bedroom in the dark, a nightmare come to life. She commands the room with her ever ready and her flair for the dramatic. He sucks the breath from your lungs. He steals your thoughts. He takes your soul. Her audience gasps on cue. And in the morning, you're nothing but a husk. Make believe, you repeat, your voice softer than the polyester stuffing you're compulsively pulling from the torn seam of a faded fighter jet. You recite this mantra inside your head through shrieks and laughter, through Bloody Mary and Truth or Dare, until eventually every girl in the basement has dozed off. You're alone in the dark, willing yourself to believe the Hat Man is merely a sleepover story. Nothing more than an urban legend. But the thing is, you've met the Hat Man. You know the Hat Man. You've awoken to the shadowed figure in your bedroom night after night. You thought it was Justin at first. You tried calling out to him to ask why he was in your room, but your tongue lay dormant on the floor of your mouth. Then you remembered Justin was gone. He'd left weeks ago. Your pulse beat upon your eardrums in a quickening tempo. You strained to see in the dark. Had the nightlight burned out? You blinked away the blurry edges of sleep, and the silhouette was unmistakable. A wide-brimmed hat rested tall atop the tattered edges of a trench coat. He stood next to your vanity, towered above your chair, and his shape was reflected in the mirror. The face of the shadow was featureless, but you could still feel his unrelenting stare. That ancient instinct burned into the synapses of prey that tells the body it's being watched, hunted. You tried to spring out of bed and run, but your legs were filled with lead. You laid cemented in your canopy bed, fighting against your body, begging it to get up. But you couldn't even wiggle a toe. The Hat Man held you in place and ensnared your gaze. You were trapped by the black hole gravity of his shadow, frozen in place, all kinetic energy drained from your limbs. He snatched your voice, inhaled your breath. You were suffocating. Then, suddenly, you were free. Air rushed into your lungs, your limbs were unshackled, and the Hat Man faded into the gray of the room as if he had never been there at all. You ran from your bedroom into your mom's and crawled under her comforter. She didn't even ask why, just moved aside and let you wrap your arms around her soft, warm middle. You stayed awake until the ringlets of dawn curled around the window shade. The safety of daylight allowed you to close your eyes again. That had only been the first time. The end.
Yay, that was amazing.
Well done, Chelsea. That was
Yeah.
great.
Thank
Chelsea,
you all.
would you care to talk a little bit about the inspiration of this story? What kind of like, from your memories of the 90s, what did you kind of pull into that?
So definitely the part that I read pulled from like sleepover culture and like sharing scary stories at sleepovers. And there's also this like, I don't know if it was the same at like little boy sleepovers, but you like don't want to be the first one to fall asleep at a sleepover. You don't want to be the target of the jokes at a sleepover. Like there is this like kind of girl pack culture where you can like get really bullied and people can be really mean to you. And I think there's other inspiration to the story, like with the Hat Man, that is kind of like a well-known sleep paralysis demon figure. And And then throughout the story, there's like references to the character going online and like doing some research and finding chat rooms. And then there's some other twisty stuff that I don't want to reveal yet. So you'll all have to pick up the book and see for yourself.
Hell yeah. So wait, did you say the Hat Man was like a bit of urban folklore? Is that
Yes.
something I just don't know about? What's the deal with that? What's the deal with the Hat Man? This is the first time I've actually heard of this. I've seen this title so many times, but I actually know nothing about the Hat Man. Where does that kind of come from? Do you know?
It's like this very weird phenomenon that people who experience like sleep paralysis or like weird insomnia symptoms and stuff, they all kind of see the same figure. So it's like,
okay.
yeah, so it's like all around the world, people are like, oh yeah, I woke up in the night and I saw the figure and it had a hat, and like they call it the Hat Man, and you can like Google it and like find yourself down all these rabbit holes of like sleep paralysis and stuff.
Oh shit, I'm gonna be doing that tonight. Because
Yeah.
I remember watching a documentary that was kind of about like sleep paralysis and sleep paralysis demons and people kind of seeing similar figures, but I didn't make the connection that like maybe the Hat Man is one of those, but that's really fucking cool.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I have not watched that documentary on purpose because I
The
do get
nightmare,
sleep
that's
paralysis.
it. Thanks, Joseph Thomas.
I do get sleep paralysis from every now and then, and so I'm like, don't feed the brain, like I can't watch the documentary or I'll probably create an issue for myself.
You might.
So confession, I've definitely seen a shadowy figure because of my insomnia, but it's been a night witch.
Oh,
And
interesting.
like usually I'll like wake up and then I'll see her standing in the corner and then she'll slowly start to walk towards me. So it's not the Hat Man for me, it's the night witch. So
we hate that
yeah,
for you.
I hate that for me too.
I kind of feel like I would rather see a figure though, because like whenever I have sleep paralysis, I just grab my chest and think I'm having a heart attack, and then I just don't have a heart attack. Which I guess is kind of good, but I'd kind of like to see a weird figure. I mean, that sounds like a better conversation.
Well, the chest pressure, not to get totally off topic, is actually part of the idea of like a succubus or incubus literature, because they are often said to sit on the person's chest while they sleep, which comes from the sleep paralysis.
Oh, okay,
But I
there
think
we go.
if you want to read more, you're going to have to get the anthology to find out who the Hat Man is. That's all I'm saying. So, Chelsea, give us a little lowdown on when this is coming out. How many stories are in it? Like, who did the cover? The
All
forward?
right, yeah. So the book is due to be released next Wednesday, the 25th. The ebook will be on time. I think the paperback will be a little bit late as we're just, getting through some production issues, but it'll be out soon, I promise. There are 14 stories and you'll hear from 8 of them tonight. And the cover is done by Cassie Daly. So I think a lot of people that are logged on today are probably aware of her. She's an awesome illustrator. I mean, the cover's behind Palm. So she totally nailed the 90s Lisa Frank Goosebumps aesthetic, and like really, really proud of how that came out. So I'm excited. And we have had a blast with merch for this project. So PL has done a ton of work. Cassie has done some of it. I can show you, like I'm wearing, let me just flash you all. I'm wearing one of her internal illustrations for Bridget's story on my sweatshirt. I have the mug of Carson's story. So
Christopher O'Halloran.
Yeah, Chris is wearing the horror gachi.
Yeah.
So Pam,
we are an
off the
entire
top-
industry at this point.
We are. We're taking the world by storm. But I'm saying this because we have a big swag pack that we're giving away today. We have 2 different giveaways. We have a set that's going to the people like for free for everybody online, and then we sold raffle tickets for this like grand prize with tote bag, shirt, mug, a bunch of stuff. So if you haven't bought raffle tickets and you're interested, I'm going to pop the info in chat, and we will pull that grand prize at the end. Was that clear? I feel like I rambled.
Yeah. So
Okay.
just to break it down, there's 3 giveaways. Just by showing up, you have a chance to win a book and a couple small swag gifts, like a keychain that I made, bookmarks, pogs, cute little things that Chelsea will ship to you. If you buy raffle tickets, however, you have a chance to win all that and more, which includes a tote bag that has the Harvest Queen on it, which is on Chelsea's shirt. Also the mug she has, the keychain, as I mentioned, a button, a whole bunch of stuff which was on the event. So you can still have a chance to win. Chelsea's going to share her PayPal. And again, if I get everything up. So 1 ticket, $1, 5 tickets, or $5 for 6 tickets, $10, 13 spooky tickets. If you're really generous and you donate $20, that's 30 tickets. So this is just a big deal because Chelsea, this is her debut, and she actually put in a lot of funding to try to give it the biggest boost that it could. So this is a way just to give back to her and maybe cover the costs a bit and make it so she's not breaking her bank.
Yes, and also, you know, of course, all of the unpaid labor that goes into being an editor for a anthology. The work Chelsea has put into this has been just amazing. It's I'm constantly awed by her work ethic, even if it sometimes irritates me when she is asking me to do things.
This is the nicest I've ever heard Carson be to me.
That's because there's a camera on me.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're
speaking of,
recording.
It
Speaking of,
really
there's a-
is like an enormous group project. Like I'm happy to take the lead. I'm really proud to do that. But even aside from like Carson doing formatting and PL doing art, like JW's been, you know, helping with publishing. Caleb is like really great at marketing. Chris helped with copy editing. Patrick wrote the back copy. Bridget did our contracts. Like it is a complete group project. So I appreciate all the kudos, but it really is.
It truly
Deser-
takes a
deserved
village
around
to make a
everybody.
book like this. It
Yeah.
took everyone, and we were so lucky to have so many talented people that could put our heads together and we could divide labor, and we became, you know, essentially a little mini press for just one book. And, you know, it's been a blast. I'm so happy to finally see this one come out, see the fruits of our labor.
Palm, didn't you forget one of the prizes, which was a date with Carson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, how
Absolutely.
much
I'm
are we
sure
charging for that?
$69.
Priceless.
Yes. I had to.
Oh boy.
So we're going to do one more reading.
Fuck you, Steve.
Just one?
I know, Steve. I can say that.
Hey, don't
cancel me.
demonetize me. I'm putting this on YouTube. Please.
I apologize.
No, it's fine.
Steve, go fuck yourself.
Okay, so we're doing one more reading and then we're going to be doing our first giveaway. So get your hot pants on or whatever they were in the 90s. I don't know. I was a child. My mom used to dress me in matching like sweat shirts with like little buttons and stuff on the front and embroidery. So I just looked like, you know, this weird little doll all the time. But coming straight from 3 a.m. all the way across the world. And then I asked how to say your name at the beginning, so watch for me mess it up now. JV Gachs. Whoa!
Is
Gotch?
it Gatch or Gotch?
Which one is it? Is it Gach or Gotch? Now I'm scared.
Gotch.
Gotch. JV
Did
Gotch.
your Canadian accent.
I can't
It's all
help
good.
it. I can't help it. Don't you know? I'm just from Canada. So she is a Spanish classicist and writer, currently working as a Latin teacher. Writing in English and Spanish, her work has been featured in magazines such as Luna Station Quarterly or Mordedo, and anthologies like Scott J. Moses's What One Wouldn't Do and Cursed Morsels Antifa Splatterpunk. Her first novel, Epiphany, will be released next year by Off Limits Press. Yay! Keep an eye out for that. Obsessed with sudden death, ghosts, and female villains, she always writes with a cat or two in her lab. Welcome, JV. Thank you for
Hi.
staying up so late for us. Now, what will you be reading from? Tell us the name of your story.
My story is about a girl. And
Yes.
It's a possession story.
And it's been taking reviews by storm, let me tell you. So, JV, why don't you give us a little taste?
okay. It's not like I saw her. Not exactly, at least. I just knew she was there, in front of me, standing, in her white communion dress, crying, suffering, hating. Her presence was as clear to me as my feet, even if I couldn't see them tucked under my knees. The certainty of her existence was overwhelming. The fact her hatred seemed locked onto me wasn't exactly pleasant either. Neither Virginia nor Anaí noticed the girl's presence. They had just been left behind in a world where Ouija boards are teenage jokes used to freak one another out, while I had just crossed a line no one should ever cross. I stood very still, mute. I didn't know what to do, how to get rid of the girl, how to send her back to the foul hole she had crept out from. Well, nothing. Next year we'll try again. And I sighed. My words were as good as yours, it seemed, señorita religiosa. Don't count on me. I've been scared enough tonight, all for nothing, Virginia replied, kissing the pink plastic beads on her rosary and making the sign of the cross. Come on, let's pack up. And I said, I did not turn to look at her. My whole body was frozen, trapped in amber. Stop being an asshole, come on, she scolded me. But I remained motionless. Even blinking was out of the question. Then, fed up with what she must have thought was my usual nonsense, Virginia pinched my arm so hard it was impossible not to scream and turn to look at her, rubbing the sore spot with my hand. Opening my mouth was all the girl needed to come inside me. An inordinate force hit my chest like a wave, but unlike a wave, soaking me was not enough. It penetrated beyond my pajamas, beyond my skin, beyond my bones, muscles, and tendons. It filled me to overflowing. I was a girl, and I was hollow. I was wearing a white First Communion dress. The folds of the dress tulle brushed my skin from the inside. Her vocal cords had been torn out from howling in pain, so much so now she couldn't even borrow mine to scream. All that came out of my mouth was an aching, airless, torn whistling sound. Her body inside mine felt wrong. Her skin was buckling, sagging. There was nothing left of her internal organs. I could feel that much as she moved inside of me, contorting in impossible ways, crawling under my skin, peeking out of my eyes, pulling my tendons as if I were nothing more than a puppet. The next thing I remember, I was in a hospital bed, my wrists tied to a gurney and my mother crying over me. Everything hurt. The pain was way worse than period cramps, worse than breaking a bone, worse even than your appendix exploding. Free hospital drugs helped, though. That's it.
Yay!
Yay, that was so good.
That was wonderful.
Nice job,
Thank you,
JV.
guys.
Awesome.
Marina says, reading this, I couldn't stop squirming and scratching my arms. I did not open my mouth the whole time I was reading it. So definitely one of the favorite stories. It also has a really cool piece of art as well. So what was your inspiration behind it?
Well, it was, there was an exorcism in Spain in the early 90s. And it was really, really gruesome thing. And it was everywhere in the media, and it was kind of traumatizing to see as a little girl. So I wanted to use that and give the ghost in my story revenge.
And we won't give any more away, but it's definitely one that will stick with you and live rent free in your head, is as much as I'm gonna say. I think everyone will agree. Yeah, and as Patrick said, it's one of our Kurt Cobain stories.
It
Thanks,
is, yeah.
Patrick. Yeah.
How many Cobain stories do we have in total?
Editor Chelsea.
Oh God.
You're the SME.
Fine.
Let me just open up the manuscript and do a quick control F.
That's fair. Well, while she's
Um,
doing that, I'm going to roll my little winners wheel here. And we're going to see who gets the first signed book and mini swag bundle. So everyone, before I jump into that, since this is directly related to JV.
We got a good question here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you want
what
to
is
read
it?
it, Carson, while I get the wheel ready?
Sure. James Smith is asking where JV is from. And he wants to know how horror is different than in the US.
I'm from Spain, and I would say that really we don't really have a huge horror community in Spain. And there are a few presses that are taking more indie horror in, and I think it's expanding, I guess, but it's not really a healthy genre in Spain.
That's fair, but it looks like Spain has a pretty good horror writer right here, so I
Well,
have high
thank
hopes for
you.
its future.
Yeah.
Also, props for being able to write in so many different languages. Like, I can't even imagine trying to write horror in something that wasn't my native language. Like, that just seems so difficult.
Yeah, most
So
of us
I'm-
have enough trouble alone with one language.
Yeah, we can't even write in our native language.
I have to fight for every comma splice I make, and I'm sticking by it, and I'm rolling this wheel. Now, caveat with these giveaways, you need to respond fast, because if you are not here, you don't get the giveaway prize. The
It
raffle
goes
prize
straight in the
yeah.
landfill.
goes
You don't
straight- we're
respond.
just-
Yep.
Chelsea burns the book on camera. Just kidding.
Mhm.
I'll give it a few seconds. I'm going to call out your name. Please just give us a hi or a
Yeah.
yay in chat so I know you're here. If not, I'm going to roll it again. All right.
Chelsea,
Yes.
get the bic ready.
Yep. Thank you, Elle, for the drum roll. You remember it from last time. And here we go. Click the wheel. You guys, I tried sharing my screen during the test and it was really stuttery, so I'm sorry. But the winner is, wow, okay, keep going. Lindsay Merbaum. If I said your last name.
Lindsay, are you
Lindsay
here?
Merbaum. Are you here? I'm giving 10 seconds. 10,
Ask the seance, is
9,
Lindsay here?
8, 7,
Lindsay, can you
6,
hear
I don't
us?
see the name in the
5,
participants.
4. Then I'm gonna roll it again.
Okay.
Oh no, Steve, you are not Lindsay. Here we go
He is
again.
not.
You liar.
Thank you,
God
Elle.
damn it, Steve.
Elle gets bonus points for giving me all the drums. Crystal Grail. Gray with an L at the end.
Crystal, are you here?
Crystal, give us a sign.
Crystal, can
No.
you hear us?
Are you Madam Crystal, which is another story in
Yes.
the anthology?
Ooh.
Okay, I'm hitting it again.
I literally have a drum sitting right next to me. I don't know
Why
why I'm not
are
like,
you doing it for me?
because
so
Elle's
relaxed.
got it
Sick
covered.
beats, bro.
Okay, I think
He doesn't want to steal Elle's job.
Let me check. Is Leslie here? Whoa, Leslie Copeland! Yay! I checked. I was
Person.
like, I feel like third time's the charm. Yes.
Congratulations, Leslie.
Leslie,
Yay,
I will
Leslie.
be emailing you after the event and putting you in touch with Chelsea so you can give her your shipping address and she can mail those goodies off for you. Congrats.
Yes. Congrats. Thanks for coming. I got an answer while we were waiting, and
Okay.
JV's story is the only Kurt Cobain story.
Oh, you know why? Because Caleb Stevens' story is also about a grunge rock star. And
But not
Caleb,
the same one.
would it
Mhm.
be too far to say it's inspired off the same person?
Absolutely.
There, okay.
Yep.
Well, I'll just continue on then.
Oh, I really thought it was a different star.
Who were you
but
thinking?
I don't remember. Don't quiz me on music things,
Yeah.
Caleb.
He's trying his
God.
best.
But there
Okay.
is another story that we talked about on the podcast. That's another music story. So there
Oh,
are
there
a
we
few
go.
music ones, but
Yes.
JV gets the Kurt Cobain award.
Okay.
Mine is music horror.
What?
Oh,
Mine's music horror in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah.
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 All
Definitely.
right. Carson, do you want to introduce our next reader?
Yeah, let's do it. Who we got? Chris?
Yes.
Hey.
Hi, Christopher.
Hello.
All right, we got Christopher O'Halloran here. He is a milk-slinging Canadian actor turned author with work published or forthcoming from Kaleidotrope, No Sleep Podcast, Dark Recesses, The Dread Machine, and others. Follow him on Twitter at Burgle Infernal or visit COauthor.ca for stories, reviews, and updates on upcoming novels. And I see you got some upcoming works here, Chris. You want to talk a little bit about what you got coming down the pipeline? I kind of heard like a rumor that there's a bigger project. I don't know if you can talk about it or not, but I kind of want to twist your arm a little bit.
I think I know what you're
Ooh.
talking about, and it's probably the story I have forthcoming at CHM, where
Oh
you
my god.
Oh,
work.
you're being too kind. No, there's another project. Keep going. Keep going.
I don't know how much I can say about that one. I think I
What,
saw
Is your boss on the Zoom call or something? Just
I think
spit
so.
it, man. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I saw his
Hit it,
name
bro.
in it. Oh, okay. Well, he's giving me permission.
Okay.
Okay.
This is how you make shit happen,
This
guys.
is big.
So this is an exclusive. I was
I'm
picked
so excited.
to thank you. I feel it. I was picked to edit the next anthology from Howl Society. We're going with a wreckage theme, a disaster theme rather, and the title is going to be called Howls from the Wreckage with a foreword from Nick Cutter.
That's
And
amazing.
Amazing.
I just want to say Chris said the word picked, but what he really means is he rightfully earned the challenges of having to do editing for an anthology, because I would say like the privilege, but it's just work he's doing for free.
no, it's an honor. It's an honor
It's an
with a U.
honor. It's an honor with a U that Christopher here is editing it. He's a long-term mod at the Howl Society. He's just an overall great person, highly supportive, always a joy to have around.
Thank you.
So definitely check that out. That's going to be his big editorial debut. And it's awesome. And I somehow managed to get forced into doing art again. So just
You're too good.
somebody help me.
I'm not the only one taking advantage of
No.
Riel.
No,
I
do
would
you see
honestly
this
recommend
slave
being
label?
worse at it. That's what I do. Nobody
think
ever
I'm
asked
gonna
me to
have
do
to.
art. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
So, Chris, you got a story in this book. Can you give us that title? Tell
Yes.
us what you got for us.
The title is Between the Barbie and the Deep Blue Ranger. And
Oh, yeah.
it's about a young boy and his toys.
All right, man. We're hanging on every word. Give it
All
to us
right.
when you're ready.
Without further ado, I shouldn't do it. Mom says it's bad for you, that I'll choke or that I'll swallow it and it'll sit in my tummy like a ball of cement. She makes it look so cool though, says Barbie, sitting against the wall. Her blue eyes stare dully at me, and she's naked, like every Barbie eventually. This one is my size though. Something Nan bought for Tiffany, not realizing that 13-year-olds don't play with Barbies anymore, no matter how big. Tiffany's bag of Big League Chew sits on her side table. Mom would kill her if she saw it in her room. Sitting out, the crumpled bag open to the air. I look inside. The shredded pink gum looks like the foam in the attic, It smells so good. It probably tastes so good too, says Barbie. My blue Power Ranger disagrees, always the voice of reason. That's her gum, Joshua, he says. If you ask Tiffany, I'm sure she'd give you some. Oh my God, that's so dumb, Barbie sighs, though she has no lungs. She doesn't share. She never shares. She shared her Big Mac with us today, says Blue. Because she doesn't like the sauce, cries Barbie. Mom should know that. They're propped against the wall, watching me decide. She won't notice if I take just a little bit, I say. Right? Barbie's bright eyes glimmer. Her smile creaks as it widens imperceptibly. That's right, she says. Just a few little strands. That's how it starts, says Blue. Barbie's right, though. She'd never notice a few missing pieces. I just want the taste. It smells like the fair that comes through town every summer. So fresh. I shake off my sock and bobbers and position my fingers up and at the opening of the bag. She'll notice if it's in a different position. I need to get in and get out without disturbing anything. Easy. My fingers dip in, the tips disappearing behind crinkled aluminum foil. I hold my breath, eyes wide, ears primed for incoming footsteps. Last I checked, Tiffany was sitting at the top of the stairs, whining into the cordless phone. I feel gum, soft like an eraser and just as pink. Drool pools in my mouth. I suck it back and choke as it goes down the wrong pipe. Are you okay? Asks Blue. My throat burns, saliva somehow turned acidic. I gotta keep it down. Don't want to alert Tiffany to my heist. He's fine, says Barbie. I compose myself, then pull the few strands of gum up, like the claw games at the mall. Those claws always drop at the last minute, so my fingertips squeeze hard, squishing the gum between them. Come on. The side of my finger brushes the lip of the bag. I pull back quickly, trying to avoid tipping it, but I fail. It falls over, the bag landing sideways on the side table. She's going to know, says Blue. I knew it. She's going to find out. She's not, says Barbie. We can put it back. She won't even notice. It's not like she pays attention to anything anyway. This is true. Right now, she's supposed to be babysitting me. Supposed to be. For all she knows, I'm drowning in the bath. Well, it's too late now, says Barbie. Might as well grab some more. I look at Blue, but he says nothing. So I grab a pinch in the other hand, too, and stuff the mess into my mouth. A faucet opens on my tongue, and my mouth fills with even more saliva. The sweetness makes my brain fire up, and for a second, all I can think of is pink, pink, pink. Sugary pink goodness. Barbie doesn't even have to put the idea of seconds in my head. I'm so scared of the gum losing its flavor that I grab more, a handful this time, and cram it past my lips. A strand slips past my tongue and down my throat. No, you can't swallow gum. It'll stick in your tummy for 7 years. What do I do? That's enough, says Blue. You've had enough. Now you're going to have to explain to Tiffany. You buffoon, says Barbie. She'll kick his ass. My jaw aches. The ball fills my mouth, loose strands attached to the larger mass like a growing tumor. I try to coax the strand up from my throat, but it sticks there at the top. If he gets ahead of it, says Blue, shows his remorse. She doesn't know remorse, says Barbie. Tiffany devours remorse and shits fury. His best chance is to take the gum. The smile in her voice is a lot crueler than the one painted on her face. The wad of gum slips along my tongue, further back, floating along the river of my saliva. No! Blue would throw his hands to his head in shock if he can move. Take the gum? She'll think he lost it. That's heinous, says Blue. The wad stops. It falls to the back of my mouth and stops. My stomach heaves. And that's where we'll stop.
You can
Fantastic,
tell. You can
Chris.
tell who is the voice actor in the group, huh?
So good.
So if any of you are
Thank you.
looking for somebody to narrate your novels, your short stories, Christopher is open to your DMs. Just slide right up in there like that bubble gum down that kid's throat, you know?
Yes, please do.
I actually realized I did the art for your story, and I think I drew the the one character in the art piece. I'm trying not to spoil anything, with hair just like this. So
I have it here, and
Oh.
should I show it?
yeah, go ahead, hit it up.
Uh,
Oh, I
It's
didn't
a-
give her the top ponytail.
it's a
I can
little
tell
hard
now.
to see.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So this tale is pretty twisted. It made me gasp at times, and that doesn't often happen, where I was just like, oh my God. Which is one of the reasons why I called dibs on doing it. I mean the art. So why don't you tell us about some of the inspiration behind it? Because it's bizarre, it's beautiful, it's gross at times.
Yeah, it is. Growing up, I had a couple siblings. I had a big brother and a little sister, and
Middle children in the house.
yes, definitely. No trauma from that for sure. And just like sweets would never last in our house. If there were sweets, you had to get at it quick, and or else you wouldn't get anything. So it kind of stems from that. Just the thrill of being a kid in the 90s and getting into trouble, getting into something where you shouldn't be.
Chris, I have a question. So I'm seeing one trend a lot with these stories is that, I think for a lot of us who are a certain age, when we think of the 90s, we think of our own childhood. You have a young son, though.
Yes.
Do you pull from your own son's childhood that you're experiencing kind of at a distance and compare it to your own? How do you think his childhood compares to yours, and do you draw on those elements in your fiction?
I haven't a lot, to be honest, because he's still young. He's 3.5 now.
Does he like cigarettes though? Like
that's the thing. Cigarettes aren't cool anymore. Like in the 90s, I remember having the computer desk, and under the computer desk we had like a tub of tobacco that my parents would roll their own cigarettes. They'd have this little red shotgun thing where you'd load the shell up, load the tobacco, and like kind of load it up. And a lot of my childhood is just triggered by smelling raw tobacco. And I remember I was with my mom one day and I smelled that. And I was like, oh, it smells like my childhood. And she's like, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Oh.
if you could give one
Yeah.
element of your growing up in the 90s childhood to your son, what would it be?
Maybe the freedom. Just like
you can do that.
I could do it, but it scares the shit out of me.
Let that kid free, man.
I do. He right now he helps his mom with horses. He walks them out to pasture. He cleans poop, sometimes with his bare hands. And that's as free as I can.
Maybe you should like explain your lifestyle, because like sending your kid out to pasture and like handling shit is a little confusing.
Oh yeah, Chris is hill folk.
We do it different up here in Canada.
Yeah.
Chris has a farm or
Pig farmer.
farm adjacent.
Farm adjacent. Yeah.
Give that kid a skateboard and no effects CD and let him live that 90s life.
That's right.
That was wonderful, Chris, though. Thank you so much for reading.
Thank you. Thank
that
you.
one I hear singled out a lot as a highlight.
Thank you.
PL, if I'm not mistaken, we got Patrick Barb up next, right?
That's correct. Why don't you give him a little intro?
Well, we have Patrick Barb up next.
Wow.
Go Patrick.
As the kids call him, P Barb. P Barb is one of my favorite authors, actually, in the horror scene right now. So I was so lucky to be able to share a table of contents with him. His work so often is acutely whimsical and takes kind of it examines horror tropes with kind of this lens of absurdity and fun, while also cutting into like deep emotions that are inherent in the premises. It's all wonderful stuff. To give you the official pitch of his bio, Patrick Barb is an is an author of weird, dark, and horrifying tales, currently living and trying not to freeze to death in St. Paul, Minnesota. He is the author of the novellas Gargantuana's Ghost, Turn, and The Nut House, as well as the novelette Helicopter Parenting in the Age of Drone Warfare, and the forthcoming dark fiction collection Pre-Approved for Haunting. Patrick, how are you doing today?
Doing all right. Happy to read a little bit from this 90s horror book we've got here. And,
Hell yeah, bro, you're in the right place.
Good, great, glad to hear. I'm going to be reading from my story, The End of the Horror Story. And just to set it up a little bit before I get into the reading, Ben Shaw is our main character, and he has traveled to Siberia. He is writing and directing the new installment of a slasher franchise from the 80s that now has taken on a new dimension in the 90s. And he is filming the summer camp slasher in Siberia, and he's gone ahead early with his cinematographer and lead actress to sort of scout things out a little bit before filming starts. And so let's get started here.
All right, take it away.
Ben left his room and returned to the hallway of unremarkable maroon doors. He hadn't showered, but he'd managed to change his clothes and brush his teeth before swiping a damp hand through his hair to put any bedhead he might have accumulated to rest. Every cough or scuff of shoes against the dusty hallway sent rippling echoes behind and before him. Jennifer and Emma were waiting at the front of the building. Despite traveling without her usual Hollywood glam girl entourage, Jennifer Leeson remained every inch the horror movie scream queen. Ben didn't know how Murray talked the starlet into flying out early for the skeleton crew assignment, but he was grateful to have her. After all, a stand-in just wouldn't have been the same. As far as Ben was concerned, there was one Jennifer Leeson, and this movie provided an opportunity for them to remind the world of that fact. Her pitch black hair was straightened to her shoulders. Brown lip liner outlined magenta-hued lips. Her parka was unzipped into the navel, revealing a black ribbon choker around her neck and a burnt sienna sweater, whose fabric wasn't that thick given what poked quite visibly through from the other side. Her long legs were covered in gray stockings. Her ensemble met in the middle with the merest hint of a black skirt. Given the cold and the wild nature of their surroundings, Ben didn't consider it the most practical of outfit choices. Still, he'd followed her career since her days dancing in hair metal music videos, and he admired how she could still pull off a look that appeared both dangerous and stupid all at once. Of course, the way she rolled her eyes at him on his approach made Ben suspect Jennifer thought he wanted to sleep with her, which was true. It just wasn't all he wanted. In contrast to the star's voluptuous and scantily clad snow bunny look, his cinematographer, Emma Vinson, wore a wool cap of her own, covering simple, short, blonde curls. A scarf was pulled low enough so her lips were visible. The rest of her outfit consisted of practical Gore-Tex snow gear, embracing her in its puffy, heat-retaining fabric. Despite the fact she was his DP, Ben had only spoken to Emma once, on the phone, but he liked what he heard from her and about her. Murray tells me I'm to indulge your request, keep you on track and keep you away from Jennifer, she'd said. She delivered the line in a deadpan Ben considered the best he'd ever encountered, at least until he'd met Grigori. Truth was, Emma didn't exactly need to issue a warning about trying to hook up with their movie's final girl. Ben had heard the rumors about who his starlet dated, or used to date. He didn't feel qualified to toss his proverbial hat into the ring, given the blowback that might follow. Hugs and cheek kisses were exchanged when Ben made it to the front. To avoid smudging whatever makeup Jennifer might have applied, Ben made sure to kiss the air beside her cheeks. You look amazing, he said, talking fast, hoping not to make a thing out of complimenting his star's appearance. I know. Jennifer smirked, no stranger to men making fools of themselves before her. Are we still catching a ride into town? Emma asked. She held a wrinkled printout of the rough itinerary Ben faxed to both ladies the week prior. Emma had worked in the business for at least half a decade longer than Ben. Her NYU student film, The Bagman's Gambit, was a cult hit on the underground tape trading circuit during Ben's time in undergrad. Since going to Hollywood, she'd gained a reputation as the best of the best among the new generation of cinematographers. The films she worked on always looked gorgeous, and yet she'd never broken through to the big leagues, never worked with the big-name directors, and she never had a chance in the director's chair again. Ben felt hopelessly outclassed in her presence, and he tried his damnedest to make sure it didn't show. I don't know, he answered. Last night, Grigori said these weird things about the woods, Emma interrupted, finishing his sentence. Her eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. Yeah, strange guy, but have you looked out there? It looks perfect. I can picture the dolly cam shot for the chase sequence, or we could even do it handheld, as long as I can watch where I'm going. Ben smiled. Having a pro like Emma agree with him made for surefire empowerment. While the film nerds gushed, Jennifer extracted a lighter and pack of Marlboros from her jacket pocket. Soon, smoke curled around her head and the hand with which she held her cigarette, adding another layer of glamour to her appearance. The sizzle of the cherry at the end of the cigarette caught Ben's attention, then Emma's. Where is he? Jennifer asked. Who? Oh, Grigori? He was supposed to be here with the car, and Ben trailed off, again struck by a strange sense that something was off with the scenery as it revealed itself to the trio, extending past the last set of doors. He couldn't put his finger on what exactly made for this unease, other than a certain flatness and constructed angularity to the corners of the building and the trees beyond. Like something out of Caligari. As the leader, Ben didn't want to upset his starlet or his DP, so he kept those comments to himself. There's the car. Emma pointed to the makeshift parking lot. Sure enough, the hired car from the day before remained in the spot where it had dropped off Ben. He wondered if the car waited there all night long, idling. He took a deep breath and passed his camcorder to Emma with a nod. All right, showtime, he said. Before she proceeded with filming, Emma paused to inspect the equipment provided. She checked the camcorder like a doctor evaluating a bloody and screaming newborn, trying to find flaws noticeable on the outside, but also understanding that any internal flaws wouldn't show until later, once it was put to use. Turn it on, Ben directed. Emma flipped open the view screen and her thumb pressed the power button. New tape? She asked. Mostly. How do you want to do this? I don't know, just keep filming. On me, on Jennifer, anyone we talk to. It could be for the Laserdisc features. Turning the camera on Jennifer, Emma flashed a thumbs up to the side of the equipment. Congratulations, dude, she said to Ben. You just gave your first directions. Ben couldn't hide the goofy smile breaking out on his face like acne, even if he tried. When he exhaled, he willed the calm to take him, blaming his earlier unease on first-time jitters. Once they were headed toward the car, Emma started filming. Recovered camcorder footage, September 1995. Boots stomp across cracked concrete and asphalt. Jennifer, are we going to talk to the old woman? What? Why are you all looking at me like that? Ben, I'm not. I'm not trying to look at you in any way. Jennifer, Em will back me up, won't you? Remember the old house? Like some cottage from a fairy tale or... Emma, behind the camera. You didn't say anything when we got in, and I was talking to Grigori. Ben, are you sure you're not thinking of the cottage from the original... Did you watch the tapes I had messengered over? The bootleg print from the first screening? I know it's scary and all, plus throw this place's weirdness into the mix and whatever. It was right over there, through the trees. It was Ben's fist knocks against the driver's window of the hired car. Okay. Maybe Grigori knows what you saw, or our driver might. What's there? Oh, hey. Oh, were you sleeping? Sorry, is Grigori here? Ask him about the house. Ask him. Sorry, I'm Ben. You picked me up last night with Grigori? I didn't get his last name. Emma. Pervac. Grigori Pervac. Yes, him. With a mink? Mishka? That name you remember? Emma laughs from behind the camera. Ben, listen, Emma, whisper, I don't know their name. Okay, look, could you just tell us where ignition turns on, tires spinning? Hey, what the fuck, dude? You almost, shit. Car backs up, spins, engine roars as it speeds down the road. Jennifer, oh my God. Emma from behind the camera, you okay, Ben? Yeah, damn. Dude drove like a crash test dummy. Jennifer, I'm going back inside to find a phone. Then I'm calling Murray. Then I'm getting the hell out of here. Jennifer, come on, wait. Shit, she's not waiting. Emma from behind the camera. Do you want me to keep Ben? No, I don't want to waste the battery. And that is the end.
Yes.
Nice.
Wonderful, Patrick. Thank you so much.
One thing
What was No, go ahead.
Oh, just a quick aside. One thing I love about that story is how effective, Patrick, that you are at immersing the reader in found footage. Because it's such a difficult thing to translate, like found footage, like Blair Witch, everything like that. To translate it so effectively into the written word, that takes a lot of talent.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I do
but-
what I can.
your reading was great too. The voices were
Yes.
amazing.
Oh my God. I'm a glam girl. Carson, what were you saying though?
Yeah, I was going to just ask Patrick, kind of what were your influences for this story? What did you kind of take from the 90s to put in this story from your own personal experiences?
Sure. A lot of it was taken from horror movies, obviously. There's some references to Scream and the sort of like resurgence of what people felt was kind of like sanitized horror in the 90s, and then it moves on to kind of a Blair Witch thing with the found footage part of it. At the same time, a little highfalutin because the title itself it's a reference to the Francis Fukuyama's The End of History, which is about the fall of the Soviet Union and the sort of rise of capitalism and neoliberalism. And so that is where the title, The End of the Horror Story, comes from, sort of combining that sense of this ending of things in the 90s and the end, sort of ending of horror at the same time, and how those things maybe didn't end and kept on ticking, as it were.
That's really fascinating, actually. One of the things I love about your work is that it constantly feels in conversation with the genre. Do you feel like you consciously have that perspective in your fiction, or does it just kind of come naturally for you?
I think it comes naturally, but at the same time, it's something that I'm aware of now. So at this point, it there's that thing where once you know what you're doing, you kind of like are like, all right, I'm doing this trick, so to speak. I'm the type of horror consumer who is very easily frightened. I'm just like a scaredy cat of everything. Everything scares me. Don't like it, and I think that's how I'm able to maybe push that into my own writing and my own fiction. Because if it can scare me, I mean, I'm an easy scare, so I don't know. But yeah, I kind of draw from that in my own work.
And what do you say as a scaredy cat? What is your what do you think is your personal most like scary 90s horror film? You don't have to impress us. It can be anything.
That's a great question. I think this was a 91 horror movie, and this sort of started off the whole thing with me. Child's Play 2. Chucky,
Okay.
that motherfucker is scary as fuck. Let me tell you, I'm sorry if you can cuss on this. I don't know. It's
It's okay. I'm not monetized on YouTube yet anyways.
Yeah, sorry. You can just beep it out. I'll give you the beep that I used.
I'll just say it. I'll just be like, beep.
There's a commercial. I was in second grade or something, I believe. And there's this Jack in the Box, and it's cranking and cranking and cranking. And then Chucky pops out, and he's like, sorry, Jack, Chucky's back. And that scared the hell out of little, however-year-old Patrick. And I would hide behind the that's actually when I was in second grade, so that fits. So I would hide behind the couch whenever like a horror movie preview came on throughout most of my childhood. And my brother had one of those My Buddy dolls that was sort of inspiration for Chucky, and he would hide it in my bed because he's a shit. And I would just like pull back the covers before getting in bed and just like almost fall off the ladder to our bunk beds. So I just really lived that scaredy cat lifestyle, and still do to a certain extent.
That's interesting to me, though, that you had that kind of like visceral reaction to horror that like puts a lot of people off. So why did you stick with the genre, do you think? Or how did it become such a big part of your life?
Yeah, great question. Back to the 90s film scene, it was Scream. Actually, Scream brought it back, and that sort of like intelligent or sort of like snarky, but also kind of like the examination of the tropes, but also respect for it at the same time. Once you sort of go into something like that, where they are examining what makes these fears work and like why we're scared of certain things. I think that's what we as writers do a lot of time, is we're thinking about what scares us, why does it scare us? And then if you go into like the broader archetypes of horror, that's the same thing. It's like looking at it and saying, why does this work? And does it work if I change it this much, or if I put it in this sort of situation? And so that's kind of where I'm coming from with my own work.
That's great. Yeah, that's fascinating, to hear because one thing I think there is a thread through your work, and that's what makes you kind of a fascinating writer, is that, you can totally read a P-Barb story and know it's a P-Barb story. You have, not to say that you're, one trick by any means. I think you like
At least two. Maybe
yeah,
three.
at least
Three
two or three,
tricks.
right?
Two and a half. Two and a half.
You have these incredibly affecting stories, but you do it in this you have this really fun, self-aware dialogue with the genre you're writing with, that I think is, just a pleasure every time. And if anyone hasn't read Patrick Barb's short story, flash fiction, I believe, actually, Haunting Lessons, you totally should. It's free online. One of the best pieces of flash fiction I've ever read. And it was one of those things that immediately makes you jealous and angry, which is my favorite kind of story, because you're mad you didn't write it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say, Carson, I think what you're getting at is the fact that Patrick Barb has his writer's voice very much defined.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and he stands out for that reason, where I feel a lot of us writers are still struggling to really define our own voices in the genre. So I know I'm a huge fan. When I was, I went quickly when I was editing the medieval anthology with Solomon Forrest, like when it was a blind submission, but when I got to P. Barb's story, I was like, I need this, it's so good. And then when I found out it was Patrick Barb, I was like, this makes sense, because I love all of his writing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so but it's time for another giveaway, isn't it, Carson?
Woo!
Yay!
It is.
Okay.
Let us give away some shit.
Again with the swearing. It's fine. It's not like I get ads anyways. But
I wasn't even going to ask if it's okay.
I thought it was just,
That's just me.
I
normal.
knew what I was getting into when I had Carson co-hosting. It's fine. I'll just call you Meat Lace from now on.
Please do.
So again, audience, if your name is called, you have like 10 seconds to respond or I'm moving on. Just because some people have dropped out, some people, it's me. Okay, drum roll L, thank you. Already on it. Here we go. This wheel goes forever. Oh, I know she's here because I saw her name, Ryan Ketterer.
Oh, how dare you?
Not an ing, but an Ryan, yay, congrats. You get a copy of it. I know, because I saw your name in chat and I was like, ooh, for once, we don't have to roll this 3 times. Yay, congrats, Ryan. That was a lot faster than the last one. I'm a little like off put now because we were rolling it like 3 times last time. But so that means our next reader, Carson, is
Oh shit. Someone? Caleb?
it's Caleb Stevens.
Hey,
Woo!
Caleb, how are you doing today?
good. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. You got a story for us or something, right?
I do.
First, go ahead and give me the title, and I'll give you your proper author bio intro. But what's the story we're hearing today?
I'll say that the title, actually, I got to give credit to Patrick Barb because I could not come up with a good one for this. So it's a blend of grunge and begrudge. So it's the grunge.
Oh, I love that.
Such a good title.
For anyone who doesn't know,
P. Barb, bless him.
Caleb Stevens is a dark fiction author writing from somewhere deep in the Colorado mountains. His short stories have appeared in multiple publications and podcasts, including the No Sleep podcast, Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, Metastellar, The Dread Machine, Tales to Terrify, and more. His dark fiction collection, If Only a Heart and Other Tales of Terror, is available through Salt Heart Press and includes the short story The Wallpaper Man, which was adapted to film by Falconer Film and Media in 2022. You can join his mailing list and receive a free story and learn more at www.CalebStevensAuthor.com, as well as follow him on Twitter at CStevensAuthor. So you got a little short film out there. Where's that playing, boss?
Yeah, it's been at, I think it's been at 6 film festivals now across the United States and one in Mexico City, which has been really cool.
It's got to feel incredible as like, kind of a indie author just getting out there and having like your work adapted.
Yeah, totally surreal.
Have you stopped talking to family members yet?
Yeah, what's that? Say that again.
Have you stopped talking to family members?
No, no, not that level of fame. No, it was a director got a hold of me back in 2018, and like just kept coming back around, and he'd be gone for like 6 months, 7 months. He'd come back, he'd say, hey, let's do this with the screenplay. And, I just didn't want to be the reason it stopped. So I'd always do it, but I never thought it would actually happen. So when he actually called me and said he was going to do it, I was pretty blown away. So yeah,
that's amazing.
Badass. It was fun.
And the story it's based on, The Wallpaper Man, that's in If Only a Heart, your
Yep.
latest short story collection. I have not read the whole collection yet, but I have read The Wallpaper Man. I can say it's fantastic. It's got this amazing elevated creepypasta vibe that feels very lived in and exquisitely creepy. It totally has that kind of urban legend feel of, something you would whisper to a friend of a friend and become something much greater. Can you tell us a little bit how that story came to be?
So a lot of my stories, I'd like to have better reasons for them, but a lot of them start with just like images. I don't know if any other writers, go this way, but I was literally at a house and I looked over and I saw some wallpaper on the wall and I was like, how creepy would it be if something lived behind that or like lived in the wall, right? And so that's just how it started. And I just started kind of thinking about it from there. So
that's wonderful. Yeah, it's such a great story. I think everyone should check out his collection. It's done really, really well too. Like I see a lot of reviews out there for it. I see people talking about it like on random Facebook horror groups and shit, which has got to be, feel amazing, to put that work out there.
It's been awesome, just decided to get that out there and it's done pretty well. So.
Oh, and PL, you did the art for it?
I did. Thank you, Caleb, for trusting me.
Yes, the art is badass if you haven't had a chance to look at it.
Yes, it is. It's got an amazing cover. But yeah.
No. I didn't do the cover.
Oh no?
I mainly specialize in black and white, so I do interior art. So I did not do the cover. But thank you for that vote of confidence, I guess. I'm not.
So yeah, maybe the stuff inside sucks. I don't know.
Oh, thank you, Carson. Caleb, who did the wonderful cover that Carson loved?
Luke Spooner at Carrie Ann House, and he's done a ton.
Thank you.
So I think he did Christie's as well.
No, I can say PL does do amazing art.
No,
She's
it's
done
fine.
art for
Carson,
me
just
also.
stop. Just stop. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
All right, guys, let's just be honest here. PL sucks. Let's move on.
Just get it out there. Just get it out there. It's fine. But I will say, while I was doing the art, I did read each story to get inspiration from it. And I don't have children, but Caleb managed to make me feel the grief of losing a child through his writing. And that's all I'm going to say. I think you should get it. Obviously, his writing's good enough to be adapted into film and audio because he's gotten a lot of this into podcast form as well. So if you want to feel that kind of delicious, heartbreaking pain, as well as the horror, you go for the Caleb Stevens brand.
Yeah, and Marina's got a really great comment here that I think really describes Caleb's style. She says, Caleb's style is very much like looking at grief through a more creepypasta lens. And I can totally see that.
I think that might be a new blurb right there, Marina. It's a good one.
All right, Caleb, whenever you're ready, boss, let us have it there.
All right. Most Friday nights, the kids in Gray Springs can be seen down at Crystal Cove, tossing back lukewarm bottles of Mad Dog 2020 or gathered around a keg in the field behind Lance Foster's house, drinking beer from red Solo cups. Tonight, they'll all be heading to Gray Springs High School for the homecoming dance. The girls decked out in their finest gowns that JCPenney has to offer, the guys in their rented cummerbunds and tuxes. Everyone who's anyone will be there, which is exactly why Patrick and I won't. I mean, sure, we're nobodies, but that's not the real reason we're ditching. Scott Stark's grave is a popular place. Normally, there are a few diehards from school milling around, roach clips at the ready, sharing long-lost sound wave concert stories in between bong rips. With the dance going on, there's a good chance we'll be left alone, which is perfect. We need to focus. We have a rock god to resurrect. Okay, yep, that looks great, Patrick says, fiddling with the camcorder. Oh shit, hang on. I gotta fix the light setting. He's staring at me through the lens of his Sony VX1000, looking like a deranged Steven Spielberg with his black eyeliner, trip pants, and shin-high combat boots. Patrick O'Halloran is my best friend, by the way. He's goth as shit, and I love him for it. He waves a finger. Almost got it. I glance around. Dude, can you hurry it up a little? I'm not super pumped to be caught desecrating my hero's grave. Patrick clicks more buttons, adjusts the aperture. Relax, Colin. Everyone's at. He lowers his voice and tosses up a set of air quotes. The big dance. I can't help but laugh. That's the thing about Patrick. He looks like the kind of kid who might murder you in your sleep. The kind who walks around looking like a white version of Candyman with a hook hidden in the folds of his trench coat. But he's nothing like that. He just loves heavy metal and horror movies, especially horror movies. Cannibal Holocaust, Hellraiser, Alien, anything that gets his blood pumping. It's why we're here. There's this amateur horror short film competition coming up at UC Berkeley with a full ride scholarship on the line for first place. Patrick is convinced it's his ticket out of Gray Springs. And if he doesn't win, he'll be stuck behind the wheel of a Royal Crest dairy truck, delivering milk for the rest of his life like his dad, which to him is a fate worse than death. There we go, he says. You ready? I nod. Okay, camera speed, action. I raise the grimoire, which is honestly pretty freaky looking, ancient and stained with a pentagram and a bunch of weird symbols stenciled on the front in blood red ink, and flip it open to the resurrection spell. The pages are brittle, the text so faded I can barely decipher the words. I clear my throat and my voice slides out in a slow drawl. Spirit of trees, servants of earth, come to me. I invoke thee, Beelzebub and Saesia. I command thee upon the dark wings of Asimon to restore your servant Scott Stark. I summon you by stealth and blood, and I trail off and look back at Patrick. Dude, do I really have to cut myself? I mean, isn't that a little overkill? The recording light winks off and Patrick covers the microphone. Damn it. Yes, of course you do, Colin. This shit has to look real. And besides, you told me you would. You promised. Okay, I say, waving him to continue. Jesus, chill out. The red light on the camcorder blinks back to life and I slipped a knife from my pocket. It's Swiss Army circa 1989, the last thing Dad gave me before he bailed, which means it's extra dull as I work the blade into my palm. I make a show of cutting myself, then squeeze a thin trickle of blood into the middle of the salt circle we poured over Scott's grave. Patrick flashes me devil horns from behind the camera, sticks out his tongue. I raise the book and continue to read. I summon you by stealth and blood and shadow, O great Aluka. I've made thy mark and command thee, raise Scott Stark to life once more. I thrust back my chin for effect, hold the grimoire directly over my head like I expect a bolt of lightning to rip down from the sky and set it on fire. Rise, O god of grunge. Rise, O master of rock. Rise and reclaim thy metal throne. And cut, Patrick says. That was sick, dude. Great job. I press my palm to my lips and suck the blood from my lifeline. You want to do another take? Make sure we got it? Yeah, maybe one more with... A rumble cuts him off. He steadies the camera and shoots me a quick, what the fuck look. I shrug. Another rumble hits, the earth trembling, shifting beneath our feet. Plumes of dirt shoot into the air. A fissure racing between my legs towards Scott's tombstone, which shears in half with an ear-splitting crack. I gawk at it open-mouthed, turn to Patrick. Are you seeing this? My words hang there unanswered as the salt circle disintegrates, collapsing in on itself, until we're left staring at a black hole punched straight down into the earth. A hole from which a hand rises, followed by another. They sink into the grass and pull higher. Holy shit, Patrick stammers. My eyes are cranked so wide they're on fire. My voice lodged in the small, tight space behind my Adam's apple. Somehow Patrick is filming again. A face appears, two cobalt eyes and a blonde whisker chin. I recognize the mud-caked hair and aquiline nose, the square jaw. It's plastered all over the walls of my room in the shape of posters, over a dozen shirts in my closet, at Reading, howling from the center stage of Pink Pop. I'm staring at a dead man. I'm staring at Scott Stark. And
Dude, hell yeah. That was great.
Now,
thanks.
I have to say, Caleb, you and I have a special little connection between our stories. Do you
Yes,
want to
we
reveal it
do.
for this
Yes.
very special reading group?
So what's cool is that before we started writing this, Pam and I were chatting. We're like, hey, what if we build sort of a combined universe story? So I did this first set in earlier in the decade, and then Pam took over with a different setting, but the same characters in Gray Springs in a blockbuster, which her story kicks ass. So really enjoyed that one. And yeah, it was really fun to work on them together and kind of make sure we had the details synchronized between us and everything. So that was a lot of fun.
And they didn't share it with us until they were done. So that was really funny.
Got him.
Awesome.
I remember, yeah, Caleb and I were talking about it, and we were like, how do we do this? And he's like, well, I'm going to do them in high school. And I was like, okay, I'll aim for college then. And we'll just try to see if we could I could be later in the TOC to make it, the table of contents, to make it make sense. And I swear to God, I kept misspelling all of their names, some terrible names. So I'd be like, Column and like, you know, Patty or something. And he'd be like, this is not how you spell any of their names. And I was like, gosh darn it, I'm having the hardest time. And then Carson was so mad because mine ended up a novelette. And he was like, this is too long. And I was like, if I do free art for the anthology, can I get it in with this word count?
I made that bargain. I was like,
oh, that's true. I was like, if I do the art. Yeah. And Carson was like, fine, whatever. I don't even care.
That was exactly how it went down, too.
And then he like
that's part.
He critiqued
I went to my room.
He was assigned to review an early draft, like to edit it. But he was being lazy, so I was like, "You can take Tom's," and he's like,
"bullshit,
13,000 words."
And every critique comment, this is too long. Just cut it. Just cut it. Just cut it. And I was like, I'm gonna ignore you, LOL.
Yeah, I could picture his eyes bleeding.
Okay, let me caveat that with Carson's critique was very on point, and if I wanted to cut it down, everything he said would have helped me. But because I was like, if I'm doing the art, I want my 13,000 words. Eat it. And I was like, meh. But I will say Carson is an amazing mentor, and actually I'm pretty sure he has like 1,000 mentees, but I know one of them, Tim.
That's accurate. Yeah. I collect
Tim is
them.
in chat.
Oh, it's Rachel.
Oh, Rachel too. So
and Steve.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
If you want really professional critique back that doesn't hold back, that will slice the fat from your story, Carson is the way to go. He takes $30 an hour. PayPal him.
At least. Yeah. No. No, yeah, I brought my whole flock here.
Yeah, apparently.
I absolutely love I call it mentoring because I'm a narcissist, because I'm a writer. But I feel like, you know, when you do this for so long and you gather up all this absolutely useless information about how the fucking indie writing market works, how to tell weird fiction stories that are not going to make you any money, like, you just got to share that information. You know, you got to find someone who gives a shit so you can feel good about collecting this information and then sharing it. So if anybody ever wants to join my flock of mentees, please DM me somewhere where I'm active, and I'll totally tell you all the sad, depressing truths about writing.
Yay.
Yes, you'll never make it. And even when you do make it, it'll suck. Like, making it isn't worth it.
Carson, bring back the niceness you were channeling earlier today.
Oh, right, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Dive into the deep depression of self-doubt and struggle.
Okay, let me go back.
You will never make it. Carson has said the truth. No one can ever make it. It's a dark spiral, a vortex of doom.
We love it.
Look
it's
into
all
my
about
eyes.
Self-expression.
You won't succeed. None of us will succeed. We all lose in this
it's just
game
about putting
of
your
chance
heart
and
onto
horror.
the page, really. That's what it is.
Y'all are driving me to get another drink. Jesus Christ.
Get it, Chelsea. Get it. This is the 90s.
Oh
We're
yeah.
emo
Okay.
now.
What
Can we
I
just
told
give a
Steve,
shout out to JV
he
for
says,
still being awake?
I told him once that the best case scenario of being a writer is that after your death, you'll be king of the future neckbeards. Is that like you'll have a whatever the neckbeards are in like 2090, they'll just fucking love what you did, and you'll be dead and have no money.
We have a very accurate quote here from Joseph Thomas. Quote, "I hope you like food stamps, writer," unquote, from Carson.
That hurts.
Although Christy would like to know, when is Carson's craft book coming out? Surprisingly, the craft book is half about how to collect benefits when you're poor.
Yes.
Um,
It's really just a social services resource guide.
yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Yeah, mad shout out to JV for still being awake. I'm gonna butcher this. Brava. Did I do that right, JV?
Yes.
Yay. Patrick Barb, like the 90s. Patrick, why don't you just say this? You're right here.
I thought I'm trying to like just trying
I'm gonna
to
do a Patrick Barb
Right.
voice.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Let's
dear.
hear it.
Like the 90s, Carson is moving from nice optimism to cynical capitalist ranting. Was that
Damn,
good?
is that me? Was that did I just say
I
that?
tried.
That sounded just
Oh
like
yeah.
him.
Oh, it's
Did
like
you
an
It's
guys
echo.
identical.
Are you
It
like
was
a
was-
uncanny. Yeah.
There was a
Like
meta
an
arc
echo.
to this Zoom.
Yeah, surprise. Ooh, 2 Barbs in here. Ooh, spicy. Okay, well, I have the honor of announcing our next reader, Bridget D. Brave. Oh my God, I almost like meshed that all together.
What is
Wow.
that's the easiest name on
La, 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 la,
here.
la.
Honestly, when she said Brava earlier, I thought she was already
Brava.
messing it up. So
Yeah,
I thought,
I'm
yeah.
trying. I'm trying. Everyone who's
Bravery.
ever done an interview with me knows I'm like terrified of saying names wrong, and I always say them wrong anyways. Like in the bio sheet that I have, Chris actually put how to pronounce his last name, and I still said it wrong at the beginning. He wrote pronounced like ball, and I still said it like hall.
Which, Chris, I did laugh at when I
No,
saw.
that's right.
Because I did chuckle
Like-
when I said balls.
I always say it wrong.
You say
always-
O'Halloran.
O'Halloran, eh?
Halloran.
O'Halloran.
Aaron.
But
Most
we're
people
not
do, though.
talking about Christopher here. We're talking about Bridget D. Brave. Okay?
Ooh.
Listen to me. Bridget D. Brave. Okay?
Like Kermit D. Frog.
D.
What-
Frog.
Exactly. Yes.
She writes weird and whimsical stories sometimes. The rest of the time, she's reluctantly lawyering from her home office in Missouri, which, if we're being honest, that's a pretty lame bio considering what she's capable of.
Wow.
That sounds terrifying.
Brutal. Bridget, I thought it was
No.
great.
No one knows what I'm
Bridget is
capable of.
multi-talented, beautiful, confident, strong. She supports her fellow writers. She crashed in the scene with a wonderful monk story that got rave reviews. It was her debut story in the medieval anthology that I was editing, and people went nuts for it. Although, funny story, if Morty's still in chat, when he first read the draft, there's like this line about goats not being able to make it up the mountain
They were
because it's
sheep.
winter. Sheep,
were
they
sheep,
couldn't make it
yeah.
up the mountain because it's snowing. And Morty was like, "What? They're eating themselves off the mountain?" And I was like, "No, Morty, these sheep aren't killing themselves. They can't make it up the mountain because it's winter." But anyways, it was an amazing story. It got rave reviews, and now her folk horror story, The Harvest Queen, which I did the art for, it's on Chelsea Pumpkin's chest. The art
Chest
also
on
has
Chelsea's chest. Yes.
titties.
I forgot
Yeah.
you're recording this.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's a folk horror and has
posterity.
also been getting amazing reviews. It's been getting called out a lot, and for good reason. Bridget likes to play it like she's just this newbie, but she came in slapping. Okay, put your butts out because she's here. She's taking no prisoners. Okay,
Butt is out.
the butt is out.
It's
Get
all
your
out,
butts
yeah.
out. Okay.
Got it loaded up with Sharpies.
Why are we drawing Sharpie butts?
Okay.
Nope, moving on.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, that's not what's
No.
happening.
I think I got confused. It's fine. I'm innocent. Carson is definitely the non-innocent one. But she has 2 top secret novellas in process coming out, one of which coming through Salt Heart Press. Other things she's working on, writing for a video game project for, I'm not going to say this right, Netheris Studios. Thank you. And she actually just joined the cast of the Wandering Monster America's Test Table podcast, which you can see on Twitch. And I actually watched it recently. It was very fun. So why don't you read us a little bit from the Harvest Queen?
All right, just jump right into it. So just to set the scene here, this is about a girl who is a freshman in high school who's getting ready for her first Harvest Queen dance, where there will be a tradition that takes place that she's not aware of yet. So stay tuned to see what happens. Her parents weren't home, but Jennifer had clearly caught a ride from someone, loud Soul Asylum already blasting from her bedroom. Chloe peeked in and found her sister sitting at the large pink plastic vanity that had been a gift for her 16th birthday. She was carefully applying blue eyeshadow beneath a fountain of bangs. "What do you want, dorkwad?" she asked without looking up from her makeup application. "Did you pick a dress for the dance?" Chloe asked, hanging onto her doorframe. Her sister grinned and jerked her head in the direction of the closet, where a plastic bag marked pristine formals hung. "Go ahead and take a look, but if you get your grubby hands on my satin, I will drop you off the Merrimack Bridge." The plastic crinkled and gave way to a monstrosity of shimmery hot pink and black, a fitted bodice with ruffled shoulders above a full-length ball gown. There were 3 hoop skirts tucked behind the dress, ready to add the necessary layers to make Jennifer Klein look like a full parade float. Chloe would never admit it, but she was so envious. Only upperclassmen got to wear the full formal gowns to the event. Freshmen like her were relegated to tea-length dresses that looked positively babyish by comparison. She wasn't relishing the idea of her scabby legs poking out from under a poofy knee-length skirt. "I wish I had a princess dress. I'm going to look like a haunted doll." "Your day will come," Jennifer replied as she blinked at herself in the mirror. "I wish I had bigger bangs. That bitch at Matrix cut my hair too short." "I'm telling Mom you said the B word." "I'm telling Mom you're a total narc. Now get out of my room." Chloe clomped back downstairs. It was too early for anything she actually wanted to watch to be on, and if she started a movie now, she'd just get interrupted by her parents arriving home and demanding she switch it to Inside Edition. With a huff, she decided to go outside. Andy Aubrey was dribbling in his driveway. He paused and made a shot towards the basketball hoop hanging over the garage door. It missed and bounced down the street, rolling to a stop in the mossy gutter in front of the Klein's house. Chloe picked it up gingerly, trying not to get the muck on her hands, and tossed it back to him. The shot went wide, landing on the lawn. "Guess neither of us are making varsity," he said darkly. Chloe let a laugh go before she could stop herself. She'd had limited interaction with the Aubreys since they'd gotten older. Amy and Jennifer had been friends as kids, but grew apart post-junior high. Andy's crush on Jennifer had remained obvious and embarrassing to everyone on the street, especially Jennifer. At least he'd stopped hanging around their driveway. That part had always creeped Chloe out. "Is Amy excited?" Chloe asked. Andy scowled at her. Should she be? Chloe felt her face go hot. "I mean, I would be." Andy spat out a bitter laugh. "Of course you would. You pod people all think this is some kind of honor." He glanced up at the lit windows in the house behind him. "You know, not everyone wants to peak in high school, especially not here. That's stupid. Being popular is everything here. Who wants everything to end when they're 17? Yeah, sadly." Chloe nearly asked him what he meant, but the sound of her own garage door squeaking open caught her attention. The Astro van pulled into the Klein's driveway. Mom was home. When she turned back to Andy, the boy had ducked past the trees of the side yard, disappearing behind the house. And that is it.
Ooh, a
good.
quick one.
I
Now,
love the dialogue in that piece and the kind of back and
Mhm.
forth. It felt real, and it was totally brought me back to being a kid.
Being a young dorkwad. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
Me too,
Carson
yeah.
I
is the biggest
unfortunately
dork.
was a young dorkwad.
Yeah, same,
Mm.
same. I definitely was a young dorkwad.
Well, you have to be to become a writer.
Oh, I've got
It's
great
a
news for you,
requirement.
Julie Stevens. There is a novella coming out of this piece.
Yay!
So,
That was one of
Yeah.
the secret novellas we were talking about when I was
Yeah,
trying to
awesome.
read that
Has
bio.
Marina,
Oh, tell us more
Marina,
about
have
that.
you read it?
it was actually going to be a sequel to this story, which will take place when Chloe is a senior and makes a new friend. So
Oh,
yes.
Oh,
we'll
that's
have to
very
see
cool.
A
what
bit of
happens there.
spoilers. Don't ruin the ending here.
Sorry.
Keep your mouth
So
Yeah,
shut.
could
sorry.
you talk a little bit about your personal influences of the 90s with this story?
Well, unlike everyone else here, I went to college in the 90s because I'm
Hell
old.
yeah.
Yeah. So I was a bit older then. But yeah, the 90s were a great time. I am so glad it's coming back now. I have a young niece who is 13 and is constantly discovering things that I definitely wore. Yeah. Which is cool.
So talking and reading with some of the other authors in this anthology, you know, I kind of feel like there is that difference in perspective where, you know, a lot of us were kids, but you were a grown ass adult doing
I
adult
was.
shit, being a cool young adult in the 90s. How do you feel like your experience differs? What was the 90s like for you
Well, a
compared
big
to
one is that
like
I knew who
us?
Devon Sawa was. I think that was the biggest part. That did break my heart quite a bit when we had to explain to all the youngins who Devon Sawa was.
I actually here's something that might break your heart further. I watched Final Destination for the first time this year
Oh
or
wow.
this last year. Yeah.
That was the first review I wrote for my college newspaper, was the first
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
that's
Final
awesome.
Destination movie. Yeah. Yeah. Idle Hands was a banger. That was an amazing movie.
I haven't seen that one either.
Oh, you would love it. It's right
What
up
the fuck
your
am I
alley.
doing with my life?
I know. You should log off of this and go watch Idle Hands.
Right now? PL,
Right
you
now.
got this, right?
Don't. Do not. Stop it, Bridget. My God. Carson's helping me here. Stop.
Uh, I'm here. But no, that was wonderful. Stoked to hear about your novella. Do you have any other cool projects in the works that are coming down the pipeline?
I might be in that huge announcement that that Chris made. Maybe.
Chris,
Maybe.
you had a
Chris.
big
What?
you had a big ass announcement, and Bridget is a part of it.
There may be a few authors in this.
Oh,
I know.
who? Tell us, Chris. Tell us.
Chris, you son of a bitch.
I might,
How
I might,
dare you
one?
hide
Am I
these
one?
secrets from us?
you son of a biscuit.
I might have to
Whoa.
save some things for socials and such.
Oh,
Oh,
Well, maybe
Chris.
announce it
you
faster.
absolute tease.
Our
I'm
entire
actually just
audience
gonna.
right now.
I'm gonna be
is
the
just
only announcement
enraged.
ever until the book comes out. They're just gonna. It's just
It's just
Yeah.
Mhm.
featuring
Bridget
Bridget
just-
D. Brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiled.
I mean, that's reason enough to buy it. So
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah,
yeah.
just buy it. Just buy it. All right, it's time for another giveaway though, which I know everyone's excited for. So I'm gonna hit the wheel. Nom, 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 nom. That's the sound it's making in my earphone. Now remember, you have
Price is
10
Right.
seconds to
What kind of
respond.
like lights would you like for this, Pam?
I want blood red to match my hair.
Okay, hang on. I'm on
Yeah.
it.
I'm gonna wait to
Sweet.
announce.
Oh,
It's here.
Oh yes.
there we go. Oh yeah.
Emily Verona.
think she's here.
Verona. Yay!
There she is.
Emily, congratulations.
Yay!
Congrats, Emily.
Congrats.
Woo, woo. Emily, you're the one that Ivy convinced to come, right? On Twitter?
Oh my God, that's so lucky. Thank you,
Yay.
Ivy. Blessed be.
Ivy is another amazing writer. Everyone
Agreed.
should check out. What was the name of her story she just had published? I think it was Pioneer John.
That
that
sounds familiar,
ring
but
a
everyone
bell?
knows how good I am with names. So
is that the one with the bear?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Right.
actually just a fan of bears. So that was the reason I liked it. But
But-
Ivy is
but-
also an amazing writer.
Question, Carson. Why do you like bears but hate dogs?
I don't hate dogs. I'm not a dog person.
What about sea life?
Sea life, hate it. Fucking hate it. Don't want it. Get the fuck away from me.
Ooh, spicy.
Oh my God.
That is
Everybody
special.
knows what happens to dog haters in horror movies, so watch your back, Carson.
I'm not a dog hater. I
Watch
like
your
dogs
back,
just fine.
Carson.
I'm not a dog owner.
You know that crack in between your two bookcases? I think a hat man could fit in there. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Look how spooky I look.
You do look pretty spooky, especially with like the choker and like the long, like grunge hair.
Thanks
Hey,
for calling
need
my
the
hair
black
grunge.
fingernail
That was
polish.
nice of you.
Mhm. So we have 2 readers left, and then we're doing the big raffle. Carson, if you do the honors.
Who do I got here? JW?
JW.
That's me.
J-Dubs.
J-Dubs. Oh, I like that. That's much easier to say. For some reason, isn't the word W or the letter W just kind of cumbersome? I always
I
struggle with
agree
it
with
with
you,
my own
actually.
name. Like I would
Yeah.
never say CW. That's why I call myself C-Dubs. But
I'm actually
J-Dubs.
really with you on that.
Thank God. Yeah. I'm sorry to
One thing
introduce
we
you
can
this
agree
way.
on.
I'm glad that we've gotten this controversial topic out of the way. I know it's just been weighing on all of us, the state of the letter W in the English language. I'm glad we finally addressed this elephant in the room. Thank
I've been
you, everyone.
struggling all week.
I
with
know this has
W.
been a big thing for everyone. And I'm just glad that as a community, we could get over this together.
Well,
Important.
I'm glad I could help with these things.
I am happy, though, to introduce J.W. Donley, who is much better than the letter W. J.W., HWA, and Howell Society member, lives with his wife and son in the Pacific Northwest, where the Cascade Mountains meet the Salish Sea. Growing up, he enjoyed R.L. Stein's Goosebumps books. Later, he discovered Mark Danielewski's House of Leaves and authors like Clive Barker and Laird Barron. In July 2021, JW published Cats of the Pacific Northwest, a horror chapbook available from your favorite booksellers. JW's short stories have appeared in anthologies from both Dim Shores and Howell Society Press. JW, thank you so much for being here, boss.
Yeah, no problem. This is awesome.
And I see you got some upcoming works here. You want to shed some light on that? What's coming down the JW pipeline?
Sure. So I think next week is the big release party for that one. Anthology from the local indie bookstore. Writers Corner presents 2002. My story, Ice Cream for the Birthday Girls, coming out that one. Post-apocalyptic, weird, bizarro zombie story. So.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
So if you're in the Bellingham area next Saturday, come on up and here's some readings.
Oh, no.
What's next Sunday? Sorry.
And can they find the details on your website?
Yeah, I've got the book cover up on my site for it, but
Okay. I just
it's
shared
not
his
officially
social
orderable
details
yet.
there. Just check the chat. Get on in there.
And JW, what are you reading for us today?
I'll be reading from my story, The Final Away Game.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you go ahead and take it away whenever you're ready.
Sounds good. The game went as expected. The Tigers lost, and we played our pep tunes from Stan's and our West Side Story medley halftime show. I flubbed a few notes on my trumpet solo in Maria. It was hard to focus when all I could think about was hanging out with Candace on the ride back. Adam didn't even tease me during the game. I think he was rooting for me, or he was worried he'd lose his discman privileges. After loading our instruments and equipment back into the trailer, we hopped on the buses and changed out the heavy uniforms. It always felt odd changing in front of everyone, especially the girls, but we were all practiced at it and wore shorts and t-shirts underneath. Everyone had a special stench after an evening of marching and music, but that was a fact of life. We lived with the smell of sweaty teens for the ride back, but it was warmer. Most vented their windows to siphon off the bad air. That night was too cold. I looked back to Adam a few seats behind. He already had his headphones on and gave me a sly smile. Toward the back half of the bus, many were settling in for some rest, some with cowboy hats pulled down over their faces. Some of them did not work on farms, but most would never come close to a cow, or closer to a cow than a big back. After a quick reapplication of Speed Stick, I was ready for the ride back with Candace. With the bus rolling out of Enid Stadium, Candace and I shared her little flashlight to read the music of Eric Zahn. I kept looking up to check her face, eager to gauge her reaction to the story. Each time she caught me and smiled before motioning to return my attention to the book. We hadn't reached the next town before we finished the story. That was so cool, said Candace. I wish the stuff they make us read in class was this good. I know, right? And that was one of his more tame stories. Wait until you read At the Mountains of Madness, freaking awesome. It felt strange finally talking with the girl I'd been crushing on since the start of last year. My nerves were settled even. It felt like chatting with Adam, but better. He didn't like reading, even the Lovecraftian stuff. He was more focused on thrash metal and learning to rock out on his beater guitar. If he were to get a job, it'd be to buy an amplifier. Is the mountains one in here too? Asked Candace. Before I could answer, the after image of the symbol with its mass writhing of snakes flashed in my vision, and a blast of sound bombarded my skull like a herd of out-of-tune trombones. Shit, I said, putting my palm over my right eye. Did you hear that? Hear what? Are you okay? Candace sounded genuinely worried. Maybe she thought more of me than I knew. I don't know. That was so loud, and I can't see anything other than this bright symbol. What was loud? I didn't hear anything. And what symbol? Ah, shit, hold on, the driver yelled, then slammed on the brakes. The bus erupted in a slurry of screams and items slamming to the floor as the tires locked, and the bus skidded along the highway. Even Mr. Straker joined in on the screaming. I peered over the seats as Candace and I braced ourselves. Slightly ahead in the middle of the highway was a bonfire. We came to a stop only a few yards from the licking flames. It was a huge pile of burning, mutilated cattle. Horns and hooves stabbing from the light in haphazard patterns. How many cattle would it take to make a bonfire so big? To block an entire highway? It smelled like one of my dad's backyard cookouts. Okay, kids, said Mr. Straker, now standing at the front of the bus aisle. Settle down. I'll go out with the driver to see what's going on. I want you all to stay in your seats and stay calm. The bus door swung open, ushering the only two adults out into the night. Mr. Straker pushed the door shut behind him. The heat of the bonfire made the glass of the pull-down windows hot to the touch. The pain and the symbol both faded from my head. Why would someone do this? Asked Candace. All those cows. I had no answer, but I met her worried gaze. The flames danced shadows across her face. She grabbed my hand and squeezed. I didn't realize my need for the same comfort and squeezed back as I peered over the windows, waiting for the bus driver and Mr. Straker to return. And I'll stop there.
Ooh.
That was fantastic, sir. One of the things I really liked, though, was that kind of call out to that, like, I wrote about it a little bit in the comments here, that impressionable age of like discovering stories and shit. For you,
Yes.
as, I think we all had those moments as like, a teenager, early teenager, when you're discovering music, fiction, movies, everything, and like everything is so new and so fucking exciting. What were some of those stories and stuff that shaped you in your youth?
I'd say the biggest moment was on band trips. My parents would give me money to buy lunch.
Hell yeah.
And I was a good kid. I never did anything. So mischievous me, I used the money instead to go to the Walden Books in the mall where we always stopped for lunch on band trips.
Oh, fuck
And they
yeah.
had a copy of Simon's Necronomicon. And I thought I was being so edgy buying that Necronomicon book. And I read that through so many times, and I was obsessed with the old gods and stuff like that. And that's what got me into Lovecraft and even got me into a college degree in history later on.
That's
But yeah.
crazy that something as simple as like not even like a core Lovecraft story, a Necronomicon,
Heck yeah.
got you to take that path, not only to Lovecraft. Were you a horror guy before that?
Oh no, I didn't even read that much other than Lord of the Rings, which I've probably read like 2 or 3 times at that point. So
Okay.
Aw.
So really that like Necronomicon totally set you on this path. Do you still like write other genres, or are you still mostly a horror guy?
I'd say
Now.
I'm mostly horror, but I love fantasy. I will always dip my toes in fantasy, but I love playing in both fields and doing
And
the
I
dark
and I
fantasy
think that
too.
makes sense for you too, as someone who was like initially drawn to that Lovecraftian fiction. Is that I think Lovecraft and fantasy share a lot of DNA as far as their world building. They kind of like put you into these very secondary world settings that are very alluring and mystical and terrifying and grand. And I could totally see, how someone could kind of make the adjacent turn from fantasy into horror because of that.
Definitely.
PL, do we have more giveaways now? I lost our
We have
actual-
one more reader,
Oh, okay.
but I just wanted to say, besides being a talented writer, which I can say, I actually reviewed his novella cats of the Pacific Northwest, and I really loved it. It's a mix of kind of like grim fairy tale, cosmic horror, Appalachian despair, and I loved it. It was such a mood, and it has interior illustrations as well, which was quite enjoyable. You don't often see that, which I really, really like. So I'd recommend picking that up. Again, you can go to his website and grab a copy of that and keep a lookout for his upcoming works. But also, if you're looking for somebody to format your ebook, give JW a DM, because he's also doing that as well. And he's very formidable when it comes to the formatting.
The most
They get.
patient, helpful person ever. So thank you, JW.
Thank you.
Yes.
You are awesome to work with too, Chelsea.
In contrast to myself,
Carson is
JW.
such a diva. Carson is such a diva. He literally made me buy a bunch of Skittles and separate them all in different colors. I had to put them in baggies and mail them to him.
Oh,
And
this
then
is all accurate.
he sent me a video of him just throwing them all out.
Yeah, they weren't right. They were wrong.
He didn't even care. He didn't even care. I separated all the colors, and it was just like he just threw them out. It was a
I
waste
only
of money
work for
and candy.
sour Skittles.
Wait. My mom came tonight and she's leaving. So bye, Mom. Love you.
Oh, bye,
Bye,
Mom.
Mom.
Hi, Chelsea's
Bye,
mom.
Hi, Chelsea.
Bye, Mommy
Mrs.
Pumpkins.
Mother pumpkins.
Bye, Mom.
Mother pumpkin.
JW, so because you have this Cats of the Pacific Northwest chapbook, I just wanted to ask you, for backup here, are you also a cat person?
Oh no, I do not like cats, and you will
what the
see
fuck
that in
is
a
wrong with
handful
you,
of
my
my
man?
stories.
Come on, man. You
Dogs
have
are
to give me
wonderful.
backup.
Cats hate everybody.
Oh, that is not true at all.
Oh, there is a cat on screen, J-Dubs. Don't say that. You might hurt her feelings. Look. Right,
But dogs are
Bridget?
just as dogs are always happy. They're happy to have you around. Cats, they're okay with or without you. most of
Cats
the
are
time.
happy. They just don't have fucking eyebrows. You can't tell what they look like.
I just want to say in defense of cats, like they're like people, they're dependent. Like a dog's a clingy girlfriend, but a cat is a well-balanced boyfriend. Like, you know, they might always be knives out though, so better wear some fucking jeans, because Zerg, my one of my cats, when
Mine
he
are
jumps,
like they're
Oh,
creeping in the back in the electric
Aw.
blue. There's a butt right there.
Bridget, what's your cat's name? What's that one's name?
This one is Mabel, named after a
Mabel.
90s story, actually. Yeah.
Did you have to check her face? You're like, who is this?
Well, we have two right now that look very similar. So they're
Are you saying
kittens
all
and
cats look alike? What is the matter with you?
they're sisters and they look alike.
Oh, okay.
I gotta say, my heart
Cat-ist.
melts whenever I see a cat.
It's true.
She's so sweet.
I have two cats, and I regularly pick them up and proclaim loudly that it is baby time. As I
Yes.
in my
It
arm.
doesn't help that my son's deathly allergic to cats and all that
Oh,
stuff.
that's
Ugh.
fair.
Ugh.
And thank you, Steve. Yes, one of the cats is Zerg from StarCraft, and he does the Zerg rush. Sometimes he gets the zoomies, and he's just all over the place. The other
Mabel's
one,
named after a Goldfinger song. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. I love that.
my other one is a literature figure. His name is Poe. Very classic. They're both black cats.
Who's that name for?
Oh, I wonder.
Burrows.
Yeah,
Oh,
That guy from
probably,
Star Wars.
Probably.
Poe,
Yeah.
the Teletubby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably that. Yeah. I
Poe,
think
the
so.
character
Thank
from the
you.
new
Or the
Star
singer
Wars
from
film.
the
I can
90s,
mute
yeah,
you
Angry
all. I
Johnny.
can mute you all. Just remember, I'm the admin here. Smarten up. Okay.
Wait, what's next on our agenda?
Well, Carson, will you introduce our last reader, please?
Yes.
Wait, do we do
Yeah.
another giveaway? When's that?
It's
After.
after.
Chelsea, are you okay? You have the timeline. There are 3 giveaways, of which we've done all 3. Once Matt reads, we'll be doing the
That's
big
right.
raffle in which you are in charge of. You're worrying me. Are you okay? Are you ready for this?
Everything is loaded, locked and loaded.
Thank God.
Chelsea's
my
like huffing
Lord.
nitrous, like in Blue Velvet or something.
What
She's feeling a
what
little blue
drugs
right
did they
now.
do in the
Or
90s?
is it
Like
whippets?
snipper snap it, whippets.
Get
Thank
your
you.
whippets.
Whipper
Yeah.
Yes,
snappers.
Nipper snap it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Everyone who did drugs in the 90s, please reveal.
I was
All
a
you
good kid.
whipper snappers doing whipper snap it.
Trying
All
my
right.
best, okay? Now, Chelsea, sit back and be quiet. It's not your turn yet. Carson, will you please introduce our last reader who is responsible for a very famous quote, and his story has been lauded in most of the reviews, if we're being honest.
If I must.
You must. You are
I
my
must.
co-host.
I am proud to announce we have a reading from Mathew Wend next. Matt spends his time in fog-covered farmland and the rolling hills of the North Cascades. This is his first publication with many more to come. He gets to hang out with his amazing wife, Bailey, and his idiot dog, Arrow. Matt, what do you got for us today?
I've got a caution choking hazard. A rollicking Christmas story, ergo my balded hat and lovely lights.
And
Because
Matt, just to
Can I
confirm,
just-
you do
yeah.
live in you live in the best corner of the United States, correct?
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I feel bad for everyone else who doesn't live in this area.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad we have that in common. Yeah, Pacific
Upper
Northwest
left is
rocks.
the
Well,
best.
there's actually 4 people here who have that in common, and we're the best. So
Yeah,
So-
that's neat.
it feels good to be better than people. It's like the same feeling as owning an iPhone.
Yeah.
So I was going to just let this slide, but because of this affront upon me as a person, I'm going to go ahead and do the one thing that makes Matt the most awkward. I'm going to praise him.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Yes, do it. Do it. Do it.
No.
Not only is Mathew an amazing and talented author, he actually has some pretty comprehensive and professional critiques. But beyond that, he is also a great moderator, diplomat, and he has his own hot sauce business. And this guy is involved in so many of the arts. He's probably a modern day true Renaissance man in the term that would encompass, in that he just embraces all of the arts. He likes to pretend he's not that great, but he supports everyone. If you're having a bad day, he will make time for you in his schedule to reach out to you in your DMs. He'll slide in there with all the confidence you can imagine, and he will boost you right up and boost you straight to the sun. Now, he looks uncomfortable. That's good. And I hope he never speaks up against my location again, because he's a beautiful person. He's a supportive person. He's a good friend. He's a good moderator. He's an amazing writer, and he makes amazing hot sauce. Now, off to you, Mathew Wend, with your
discomfort
story.
there. It's just the Sharpies.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm. It's
This is
the
worse than
Sharpies.
Colorado. This is horrible.
How dare
so Matt,
you?
one of the things
Yes.
I will say about Matt here, though, in all seriousness, he's a newer writer, but or at least newer to the rest of the world. We all know him very well, but his story is, I would say, maybe the number one most commented on in reviews. People fucking love it. It is astounding, the response to it. So Matt, whenever you're ready, give us a little bit of caution.
Actually, before he's ready, can we go
No.
ahead and call out one of the quotes that is called out the most, Chelsea?
Oh yeah, please go for it.
Chelsea, hit us with it.
Wait, the quote?
The quote, hit it, no context, just hit it, and then Mathew will read.
Stay hydrated, cabbage bitch.
And with that, Mathew, please.
Excuse me, miss, said a customer, tapping on Caitlin's shoulder roughly. She jumped, eyes wide. I'm so sorry, she said, looking up and immediately noticing a furrowed, angry brow. I must have gotten lost in my work. How can I help you? She attempted to assuage the anger she saw percolating from the middle-aged mother in front of her. She had zoned out to the repetition of the Christmas music. Wham's, Last Christmas currently. I'm sure, she said in a tone that announced she would be speaking to the manager later. I'm looking for the Spice Girls clothing section. I was told it was here. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry about that. This is toys. You must have taken a left at appliances instead of a right. If you'd like, I can help guide you. No, it was your coworker's directions. I'll find it myself. But while we're here, I want one tickled Elmo and the garden path doll that eats food. And make it quick. I'm very busy. I'm truly sorry, ma'am, but we're out of the Cabbage Patch and Tickle. No, I see them right there, she barked, pointing at the large glass display in the center of the section. Children milled about it, pawing at the glass with their greasy hands, ignoring the signs saying, do not touch. Unfortunately, those are only display models. We do have a new shipment coming and then I'll take them at 50% off. Thank you. No need for packaging. Thank you and go make yourself useful. I'm sorry, ma'am, but I'm not allowed to do that. Then please go get your manager so I can talk to an adult around here who is able to make grown-up decisions. You kids have no respect for your elders. She paused, making a pointed effort to stare at the name badge. Caitlin, she hammered on each syllable. Caitlin gave a sigh and walked away from the conflict. She rounded the corner to look for a manager, and Sarah slid in stride next to her. This lady has me bugging, but you're handling her so well, Sarah whispered as they walked. I saw it all. So let me tell Steve, 2 witnesses are better than 1. Steve would be in appliances. No one could outperform him there, and he loved breaking sales records. One year, he sold the family a second fridge for their living room just for the Super Bowl. If either woman cared about retail careers, they may have considered him a hero. He was talking to a mother who had far more patience than her husband, who stood off to the side, 2 kids running around his ankles. He shouted at them from time to time when they got too far away. He dripped exhaustion. That guy is the actual sale right there. Steve is so good at this. Sarah leaned in, the 2 of them standing a few meters away. He keeps mom interested until dad loses patience. Once dad breaks, he'll spend anything to get home and watch the end of the second half. He's a pro. Steve shot a look that told him to bugger off for 2 more minutes before interrupting. But his plea for time was cut off by a knifing scream from across the store. Sarah quickly pushed Caitlin in the direction of the scream. You go, I'll tell him what's happening and see you right there. The new hire took off at a sprint, her Converse slapping against the tile as Sarah ran to explain to her boss and sent him after security. Caitlin rounded the corner in toys and found her horrible customer trapped in the central glass display. How in the fuck, she wondered loudly, but ran up to the edge and shouted at the woman to check on how she was doing. Not well, she surmised. In one hand, she clutched a Tickle Me Elmo doll, which giggled and spasmed through her torment. In the other was a hungry Cabbage Patch doll. It ate, machinating slowly inch by inch closer to her scalp. Its mouth was full of her hair, tiny plastic teeth chomping permed curls deeper and deeper down its dolly throat. Rivulets of blood dripped down from the woman's scalp as she did her best to rip the toy away from her. I don't know how to open it, Caitlin shouted towards Sarah as she came running through the aisles. Sarah scrambled to the register that held the keys for the display, digging through the rubber bands and paper clips in search of the small key ring. She glanced at the struggling customer. That tickles, she could hear the doll mock, wriggling all the while against her still greedy clutches. Caitlin climbed the edge of the display, carefully timing her leap into the chaotic abyss. She was fully aware of the group of people outside the terrarium. Splashes of blood smeared the glass like a magic eye design, and all she wished for was to be a boat at sea. Please get this demon off me, screamed the indignant customer, and Caitlin reached for the Cabbage Patch doll. Caitlin grabbed the back of the doll, pushed aside the gearing that dragged the hair deep into the mouth. Mercifully, the chewing stopped, and she pulled the hair from the doll's belly. The woman sat in her enclosure, crying, while the customers outside began to cheer at the success. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Check out this merch we have as well.
Ooh, stay hydrated, Cabbage Bitch. It's holographic.
It's coming for you.
Here.
Now, Chelsea, can you confirm, are those coming with all the giveaways and the swag?
Sure. Yeah.
So everyone who won, you get one of those stickers, and the person who gets the swag bag will also get one of those stickers.
Okay, I'm doing my final PayPal sweep.
Yep. So while Chelsea's doing that, Matthew, what inspired the story?
I mean, I was 90s
Carson, I
kids
stole your question,
from
I know.
No, please.
5 to
That's fine.
15. And so my 90s were a lot of toys and fun. And so, you know, the Cabbage Patch Kid and especially Tickle Me Elmo craze was something that really drew me to the frenetic nature of that period where everyone needed that singular toy every season. We didn't know what it was until suddenly the holidays hit and everyone ran out and fought and screamed and grabbed at it. And just that ridiculous drive, I wanted to kind of turn on its head and make it just the violence it is.
You unlocked a memory for me. I remember when I was a kid, my little brother got a Tickle Me Elmo one year, but he was scared shitless of it on Christmas morning. Like I remember it like it was just like vibrating on a shelf, and then it was started doing like an exorcist contortion, like a back-breaking exorcist contortion, and he was just like holding his face in terror on the other side of the room, screaming at it. Yeah. Those are scary fucking toys.
Oh, there was, and that was the year that the eating Cabbage Patch Kid came out the same year, and had to be pulled because they would just chew onto people's hair and just suck them up into the gearing. Thus the caution choking hazard.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as kind of a newer writer on the scene, what kind of projects do you have going, or what is your approach to writing right now?
I'm really kind of trying to find my voice right now. I've kind of ran a gamut of trying to write things. I did a historical fiction short that I really like. I just finished a very heartbreaking story that I think is wonderful. This one is, much more fun, kind of the chopping mall and the 90s mall kind of vibe. But I really like just diving into some unique area and finding something that either draws out personality and characters or really develops a scene that has just vibes. I love vibes. I'm told that I have vibes for days in my stories, and that's something I really strive to
I think
do.
you have vibes for days in
That's
your
like-
persona in general.
That's
We
true.
love vibes.
Also lots of canned food, so it's good.
Your stories are great. I'm excited for the world to see more of them.
Me too. I actually have something that's going to be submitted to somebody in chat, I believe,
Oh,
but they don't get to know it until they see it.
that's fancy.
Yeah. So
Awesome. You
All
did a
right.
great job reading that. It was really fun.
Mhm.
thank you.
Now, I believe we have a raffle or something going on.
Oh, does anybody have like a color request for the grand prize winner?
Oh yeah. Any
I like
colors?
this
Let us
forest
know in
green.
chat.
Oh, purple. Okay, Julie was first. We'll go purple. Okay.
There
How's this?
we
It's a
go.
little pinkish. Maybe a fuchsia. Okay. All right.
All right. So
Spin this wheel. Let me do one last
Chelsea's-
to make sure I got everybody.
yeah. Elle's got our drum roll here. So this is for the big prize. It comes with the signed book, the stickers, but also a shirt, a tote, mug, pin, magnet, all the fun stuff, really.
And who's that book signed by?
Chelsea, the very own
Chelsea Pumpkins, editor.
Oh my gosh.
Although if you're going to StokerCon, you can meet many of the authors there and get a signature then from all of those.
Oh,
A bunch of
we
us, I think, will be
have-
there.
We have an interesting conundrum because the
Oh.
winner is Ryan Ketterer.
Ryan.
I'm
Well,
not even lying. I will prove it. Oh, I
You
can't
can-
share my screen.
you
but-
can actually post a screenshot in the chat.
Okay. Oh, fuck.
So-
I just clicked on it and it went away, but it was Ryan.
Okay, do we believe her? I do believe her. But so Ryan, congrats. You get a huge swag bundle. You get 2 books. My Lord, blessed be.
Blessed be.
Blessed be. Oh, she
Ryan
says
wants
she
to
wants to give her first prize. So I'm going to roll my wheel because I have the non-raffle prize reel. And we're gonna get another winner for that. Thank you, Ryan. So generous.
She said, "Thank
What-
you, Spamela."
Yes, Kettering, right? With the ing at the end. Let's go, hitting the wheel. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Oh, killing her on the
Na-
drone.
I am
na-
thrilled.
Na.
Oh, dude, I have Batman Hot
Ooh,
wheels behind me.
Hell
So-
yeah,
Let's see
man.
him. Let's see him.
I did see him earlier. Is Matt Blairstone still in chat? Ooh, there's the Hot Wheels.
Fancy.
Matt
Matt.
Blairstone, are
Oh
you still
no,
here?
Matt Blairstone bounced.
So
Yeah.
I
Oh my
did promise
gosh.
Matt if he won the grand prize, I would give it to him. So like, what are the
But this
implications?
isn't the
in
this is the book. Ryan won the grand prize. So
I know, but I was just like,
mm-mm,
hang on. She
mm-mm.
said,
I'm
"This is
sorry,
my
should have stuck
decision."
around, Matt.
Guys,
Oh yeah,
let's-
it is.
I hate
Give
to
it
say
to
this.
Matt. Ryan
just
says
need to
give it to
give-
Matt.
Ryan
just
says
need to
give
give
it to
Ryan
Matt.
says give it to Matt.
3 grand prizes. Let's do it.
I love that.
I mean, that's up
Congrats
to
to Matt.
that's up to the editor. I'll hit the wheel again.
You know, I really don't care if it costs Chelsea money. I just
Yeah,
say,
if
you
it
know,
costs
this is.
Chelsea money, you know,
I think we
it's
really
not up
just
to
have to do
us.
this for the good of
I mean,
the
like,
people that showed up.
these need to be in the world, I think.
So are we hitting
Yeah.
it one more time, Chels?
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Let's just get on the same page. What is the prize?
7 more, Chelsea, out of your own pocket. That's
A
what's
book
going on.
with whatever stickers and swag you have on hand.
Okay. Perfect.
Now, I will say for the winner this time, I only sent her enough for 4 giveaways. So you will not get a keychain, and I apologize. If that's okay, then we're gonna hit the wheel.
hit the wheel.
Hit
It'll
the
just be the
wheel.
second prize.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. It is the Batman theme.
It's
Caleb.
probably Ryan again.
Yep,
Honestly.
the classic funky
No,
one from like the 70s.
Mine removes the winners.
Can we
That's
take
right,
a moment
James.
and like
I'm trying
look
to
at
get people
Chris
free shit.
flexing? Chris.
Goodness,
We saw
those
that.
milkers, those milk.
I cannot sit still.
Chris, could you just go ahead and take off your shirt?
No, don't. I need to put
For
this on
science.
YouTube.
I gotta
I-
go.
I don't see a Tori Ross.
To my chat roulette account, correct?
I do not
Tori,
see a
are you
Tori
here?
Ross in the participants.
Tori just hopped off because it's 10 p.m. here. And yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hmm.
I'm hitting it again.
Hit
I
it.
will
Tori doesn't
say-
even know.
While I'm waiting for this to spin out, when I did an interview with Chris, he was like fidgety, and I was like, "Stop moving and sit up straight."
Thanks,
Okay, let
Mom.
me
She did.
check. No,
Okay, but like, can we see them biceps again or what?
yeah, can we
Yeah. You should
Do,
just
show
give
us
it
the
to Elle.
biceps?
I bought 2 raffle tickets to the gun show.
do I get a prize
Yeah.
if I
Drum roll for the biceps.
Elle
says
is
Elle.
asking for
Chris.
biceps.
Chris, you have to.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, Chris, are
Chris.
those legal in
Barb
Canada?
boy.
It's really
Just
hard to
showing
get
off the shirt.
licenses in Canada for
Just
those
showing
types
off
of
the shirt.
guns.
Yeah, I think he needs a permit for those.
Yeah, are you sure you can get those?
That's all factory work, baby.
Oh man,
That's
Okay,
them,
are-
them some milk arms right there.
Yeah, are
I
we
would
ready?
love to do a humiliating arm wrestle with
Oh
you.
my God, Carson, stop. Please.
Hit me, daddy.
We're close enough.
Julie
Dude,
Stevens.
we are. I've got so much
Julie
old coconut
Stevens.
oil in my pantry, dude. We're good.
Okay,
More
Julie
like
Stevens.
3.5, 4
we're
hours,
announcing-
isn't it?
announcing we're
Here.
announcing a true winner.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yay, Julie Stevens.
Woo!
Yay!
Woo, woo, woo.
So
Yes.
with that
Yes, queen.
threat of an arm wrestle with the ultimate guns of Canada, thank you.
That's their
First of
entire
all,
military.
I know Chris is just all of it. Thank you everyone for showing up. I know we ran a bit late and I really appreciate your patience. We were just having such a good time. We couldn't stop talking about the guns. And we really appreciate you coming out and enjoying our readings, participating in our giveaways. And for those of you who supported the raffle, it really does help indie publishers a lot, especially in the fact that Chelsea funded a lot out of her own pocket and we're able to give back to her in this way. And we do truly appreciate it. If you didn't win, you can still pick up a special edition copy signed by Chelsea with swag. So you can still get that beautiful cabbage bitch if you really want her. She's holographic. She's ready to hydrate you, you know, in any way.
I'm like just so excited to put this on my water bottle. And
I
shit.
know. Oh,
Sorry.
Chelsea, my Lord.
I bring it to PTA conference meetings.
There we
Yes,
go. There we
do
go.
We saw your Nalgene JW.
J Dubs.
know.
J
We
Dubs.
know that you have
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
It needs stickers.
And
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I
Nope.
was going to say, I would like to also thank our amazing authors who read today: Caleb Stevens, Mathew Wend, Bridget D. Brave, Patrick Barb, Christopher O. Holleran, JV Gachs. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Jade J-Dub Donley. And I'd also like to thank my co-host, Carson Winter. Now, neither of us read, but both of us do have stories in the collection. And a big thank you to a reader and the organizer and the editor, Chelsea Pumpkins.
Yes, big ups to Chelsea. Thank you so much for putting this together.
Thank all of you who stayed on till 11:15 on Eastern time. And if you are in Spain, it's gotta be like 5 a.m. So thank you.
That is some
Times a
true
million.
dedication.
Yes, thank you so much. It means so much to us that everyone showed up and everyone glowed up. Y'all cute AF. Now let's do a bit of a round, and Carson kind of educated me this on last time. Let's talk about what we have up and coming. Caleb Stevens, up and coming, go.
I got a couple of books coming out this year. So a psychological thriller with Jaffe Books, they're a London publisher, and I think that'll be this summer. And then I'm following Palm around to places she's been published. So I'm having my novel called Feeders. It's a speculative horror thriller coming out in October with Timber Ghost.
And what about the movie?
We're working on that. Full screenplay has been written and rewritten about 10 trillion times. And so it's, oh man, way more than anything I've ever done, but it's about to go out to producers and houses. So hoping that somebody grabs that.
Okay.
And then, yes, amazing work. Mathew Wend.
Nothing that I can talk about currently, although always looking for publishers. But all I will say is all I want for readers is you.
Ready for that.
DM him, show him love. If you know a editor who likes amazing writing with a lot of personality, send them Matthew's way. And if you're looking for hot sauce, look at Matt. Bridget D. Brave.
Sorry, I was muted on my mic.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I have a couple novellas coming out later this year. Follow me on social media for official announcements of those, and some short stories that are also coming out. Nothing I can really officially announce that I haven't already.
But you're also on that Twitch and podcast.
Oh, I am. I'm working with Wandering Monster, America's Test Table. We test indie TTRPGs on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central Time on Twitch. So I've got info about that on my page too. And I'm currently writing for an upcoming sci-fi cozy horror game. It's coming out. So
that's amazing.
Follow me for more info about that too.
I have a follow-up question. Well, how would you describe cozy horror?
It's a survival horror, but also with a lot of like relationship building and resource gathering. So, and there's a kitten throwing herself behind me.
Oh, kitten. Yeah. Is that Mabel?
It is Mabel.
You cutie girl, Mabel. Look at those little paws. Little paws, little beans.
Yeah, she's the bomb. Yeah.
Chelsea Pumpkins.
Okay, besides this,
which is coming out on Wednesday.
Yeah, it is. Okay. If Alan is still on this call, I'm super excited and honored to be joining the Shortwave magazine crew in March.
Oh, cool.
And I do have a really tiny, disgusting flash coming out in Ooze, Little Bursts of Body Horror, which is also coming out in March. And then some surprises along the way. So I'm excited.
What about the podcast?
Oh, and I do have a podcast. Yes, thank you. Just launched a podcast with Brett Mitchell Kent and Elton Skelter. And we just talk about indie horror. We've lined up some interviews with some really great authors and editors and the like. So check out Cutthroat Queens where you listen to podcasts.
Yes, thank you. It's amazing. And again, Wednesday is when this anthology comes out. I just shared the link. This is where you can order it. If you order it from the form on Chelsea's website, you will get stickers and pogs.
Pogs, yes.
Get it.
Cassie made those for us. They're amazing.
Yes, pre-order it and get the goodies. Otherwise, you're just going to get a book. And really, who wants that? Who even does books anymore?
Just fucking nerds, really, right?
Fucking nerds, mate.
Yeah.
Patrick Barb, give us a sitch.
All right. Well, mentioned in the bio, I have my debut short story collection coming out Halloween of this year. So a little bit of a wait. It's called Pre-Approved for Haunting. It's 18 stories, 15 reprints, and 3 original stories. It's coming out from Keylight Books and Turner Publishing. More up and coming, more sooner. That's the word I was looking for. I have a story in the second issue of Cellar Door. It's their Forbidden Magic, which I believe Ryan also has a story in. Ryan Ketterer.
Not Kettering.
Ryan Kettlecorn.
Kettlecorn.
The story is called
She's sweet and salty.
The story is called All the Other Toys Face the Wall, and it is my Toy Story meets Hereditary story for.
Oh, that's a good title.
You
Now,
want to check that out?
don't you already? You have 2 novellas coming out, don't you?
They're already out.
Helicopter. Oh, can you
Yeah,
mention
yeah.
them again?
Oh,
I
sure.
haven't read them yet.
Oh, sure.
so
Yeah,
I
they
guess
came
to
out
me,
the
they're
end of last year. So
I'm trying my best, Patrick.
It's fine.
It's been a rough
I like
year.
it. Let me sell. Let me cook here.
Sell it. Sell it.
All right. So I've got
Always be closing.
I've got shit.
We bamboozled
Revenge
him,
on
guys.
Ghost.
We got him.
Got too much coming
Revenge on
out.
His Ghost from Gray Matter Press. It's a dark fantasy about the ghost of a giant gorilla on a subway car in New York City. I have Turn, which is a vampire pro wrestling novella from Alien Buddha Press, and my novelette, Helicopter Parenting in the Age of Drone Warfare, which is kind of a near future sci-fi horror tale from Spooky House Press. People seem to be enjoying it.
I read that one recently and I really dug it.
So good.
And it's surprising in a way because the title is so good. It's almost you're afraid the story isn't gonna like live up to the title, but the story is as good as the title.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Check's in the mail. And the last thing is, if people want to go out and check out Cosmic Horror Monthly, a lot of people on this chat are in that magazine. My novella, The Nut House, which is my talking animal crime cosmic horror novella, was serialized over the end of this last year. And so, hopefully we find a home for that in collected form soon.
And I do want to say I am honored to state that Patrick actually caved to peer pressure, and he will be allowing me to interview him in the near future about his recent works, actually. Thank you, Patrick.
I want in on that.
You want to co-host again?
Yeah.
It's now the Plim and what's your middle name, Carson?
I'm not gonna let you know.
Okay.
Udolfo, I think.
Udolfo.
Definitely Rodolfo.
Udolfo? Really?
Oh, no.
That's the one you're going
Rodolfo
with?
Winter.
Christopher Milkman.
Yeah, what's up?
It's actually Autumn.
Carson,
Tell
Autumn
us what's
Winter.
coming up.
I have shorts coming out from CHM, Kaleidotrope, Tales to Terrify. I had one just come out in issue 1 of The Mall with Ai Zhang, a good friend of all of ours. You can get that right now. And the big thing, well, I got 2 novels that I'm looking for homes for if agents want to get at me. 2 full novels.
Agents
and
in the chat, DM this man.
slide
You've
in.
seen his guns. He's
Have you
serious.
seen those guns?
But other than that, we got Howls from the Wreckage coming this summer. Should be available at StokerCon.
Ooh, spicy.
Where we'll be hopefully picking up the Stoker for Dark Ages, Howls from the
And
Dark Ages.
Chris is actually
This
going
seems
to
like
be
a
there.
threat to me right now.
I know. Don't be threatened. Have you looked at me and Chris?
Chris,
The Canadians are
read the
taking over.
room.
I'm not
This is the
threatening.
war
I'm
of
passionate.
1812, and we will burn down your house. Do not
Yeah.
talk to me like that, Chelsea.
Yeah. just a little thing we do.
Our bit. Ha ha ha, Chris.
You know, just fun.
JV, hit us.
Well, my coming of age, found footage, debut novel will be coming out this year with Off Limits Press, but I still don't know exactly when. So I'll be sharing that when I know more.
Congrats.
So the Epiphany, by the way.
Yeah, it'll be amazing though. J-Dubs.
Well, I've got that, like I mentioned, the story coming out next week from the Writers Quarter Anthology 2022, Poetry and Prose from the Village Books Writing Community. Ice cream for the birthday girl. So be looking for that. And I've got a bunch of stories out in submission and I've got my fingers crossed. So
No, that is amazing. Again, you can actually get a bunch of his works that are already published. Grab those, go to the website that I linked. And JV, I actually do have a question from Marina. Do you have anything in Spanish available?
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Coming in the future. And then my beautiful bushy-headed co-host Carson Winter, let us know
Hey.
what's coming in your future.
As mentioned earlier, I have Soft Targets coming out March 22nd from Tenebris Press. I have stories coming in Seize the Press, Howls from the Wreckage. Sorry, Chris, I probably wasn't allowed to say that, but
We got two.
That's
We got
two.
two.
Oh my god.
Watch yourself, counselor.
I see.
Okay, Carson Udolfo.
yeah. And a handful of other places. I also co-edit Cosmic Horror Monthly. We've got a really exciting next year planned. So if you are looking for dope cosmic horror and weird fiction stories, please consider checking us out and subscribing. Palm, do you have anything?
Me.
Yeah, you.
Only because I want to see Chris's face again. I too have a story coming out in Howls.
Wow. Wow.
Fight me, Chris.
We're off the
Unbelievable.
chain
No, I could
fucking
take
tonight.
you.
We don't give a shit, Chris. What are you
there's
gonna
only
do?
35 in here. It's okay.
Fight me, Chris. I'm the host.
In writer numbers, that's thousands. We're essentially famous.
So, and of course, I have a story coming out in this 90s anthology coming out on Wednesday. I do have a cryptid novella coming out through Salt Heart Press
Ooh.
this year, and I was contacted. This announcement is coming soon, but you guys are now the first to know. I was contacted by a Spanish press. I won't say which because you'll keep an eye out on social media. And my collection and my debut novella are going to be having Spanish editions.
Hell
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Espanol.
That's pretty
Uh,
fucking dope.
Es muy bien.
You better
Uh,
dedicate that to Marina.
Gracias.
Marina,
I should, Marina.
you heard it here
Marina.
first.
It's,
They
it's
don't-
Marina's publishing house.
They don't speak Spanish in Brazil.
Oh
We're
wow.
Portuguese.
We're-
Then
Portuguese,
why
that's right.
did she ask
Ugh.
if the story was in Spanish?
Because she's multilingual, Chelsea. My God, you American.
Oh my God, I'm already canceled. This isn't even out.
Canceled.
Marina speaks Spanish. See, goddamn.
Oh my God. Chelsea,
I'm really
you are
sorry, Chelsea, that
canceled.
your career ended so early.
I
This
know,
is a
this
real
was-
bummer.
The
this
same
was-
night
God,
that
I'm
we all
so
announced we're in
embarrassed.
House from the Wreckage. Your career
Yes,
just like
rip Chris.
Hey, guess
Turns out the
hey,
wreckage was all of us.
guess what? Chelsea's also in Wreckage.
You heard it here first, people.
Shit.
Oh my God.
Chris.
So
No more. No more.
yes.
That's
I
it.
just
That's all you
got
get.
canceled. And
This
you,
is
and
why you
welcomed
come
me
to
in.
live events, because you
Resurrection.
get all the tea and it is fresh.
Fresh tea.
And
Hot.
stay till the end.
Hot.
You have to stay till the end. That's when the tea comes out, because before we're acting all polite, except for like Carson,
Also-
who just goes hog wild in the beginning.
This
Fuck
is
hog
your
wild.
hint about my story.
Oh no, don't do that. Get
Oh,
out of
no.
here.
Oh, no.
Chelsea.
Sad. Oh
Oh
no.
my God.
Yikes.
I'm
Sad.
calling the police. Oh,
Well, that's a
Tim.
happy note to end on
You know what?
anyway.
Tim, yes, I'm gonna edit all the spoilers out of my YouTube video. I'm just gonna cut it right when I'm like thanking everyone, and then I'm gonna fade out.
Please
so
don't.
just keep that in mind. No, Carson, fight me. You don't have the rights.
I don't have the energy.
No, you don't. You don't. Okay. I'm spry. I'm spicy. My hair is red, and I dye it with the blood of my enemies, which you are not because we're friends. We're gonna co-host the interview with Patrick. Huzzah!
We are going to
Hooray.
double team
I'll be there.
Patrick.
We are gonna double
What?
team Patrick.
Hold on.
Oh,
Wait.
Hey,
Stop.
it's 11:30 on the East Coast.
It's time to go to bed, everyone.
All right, play us out.
Again, thank you, everyone, and everyone have a good night. And
Oh.
if you what, Chelsea?
There was a request for Carson sign off in the chat.
Yeah, let's make it
Carson.
happen.
Do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's baby time.
Baby time, baby time, baby time, baby time, baby time. See ya,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Good night,
And
babies.
Everybody.
have the
Yeah.
best
On that note.
evening.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.